TV Live. Futures all in positive territory as we await inflation data momentarily. CPI coming out, government workers coming back, especially for this. The NQ up 0.5%, the ES up 1/3, the Dow up 0.15, and the Russell 2000 trying to hold up here above 0.5%. Also, Bitcoin trading above 111,000 again on the day. Let me know when you have those, Adara. We'll send it there momentarily. Looks like it might be out the market reacting here for the high side.
So 3% here for year over year versus 3.1% expected. So lower than forecast there for year over year number. Core year over year 3%, also lower than 3.1% expected. Core CPI month over month 0.2% versus 0.3% expected. And for the the month over month here non-core, that one coming in at 0.3%. So all of these coming in 0.1% lower than expected across the board, guys. So CPI year over year 3%. Month over month, 0.3%, core year over year, 3%, core month over month, 0.2%, all 0.1% lower than expected.
All right, yeah, the market making new all-time highs as we speak, taking out 25,500, guys. Another record for the Nasdaq. I haven't quite looked at the ES quite yet. Up 1%. There's a whole lot to talk about today. We'll send it to the boys initially, though, for a market reaction.
Yeah, hey, what's up, everybody? Yeah,
Upside,
really nice,
baby.
Yeah, really nice to see this. Tesla's going to take out 450 right now. But yeah, as Sharif mentioned, it looks like we are getting a nice all-time high movement here. I don't know if there's any specific stocks that are really blasting off right now. They're all kind of just starting to tick up. There goes NVIDIA. And yeah, there it goes, man, the Nasdaq. So, wow, look at this move. Now we're up 1%. That's a huge move. So I guess it's all aboard, right? I mean, now it looks like the rate cut will be what it is. And maybe with these kind of numbers, they can continue, you know, the positivity around rate cutting. So here we go, man. 617.
No,
yeah, exactly. 617 right there. We just took it out pretty easily. All-time highs in the Q, Sharif and Neil were 614. You're now at 617 and going higher here. What a day. Plus, what a day for Toronto sports, too.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking like it's going to be shaped up to be a good day so far in the markets. You're going to like that. I don't see any way. You can't be waiting around for the data. We get the delayed data, and all of a sudden
0.2 versus 0.3. So.
I mean, come on, like, and that's both core beat month over month, year over year, like everything, all four metric by 0.1. So pretty much everything to the upside. NVIDIA's up a point here. I just see people mentioning Robinhood is flying. Robinhood's up 3.5% right now on this inflation number. So, hey, it looks like it's going to be all system go. I'm already going to be, actually, I'm going to be a bucket of nerves today. But I'm in a good mood because I'm going to the World Series. But I'll be a bucket of nerves over this game tonight.
Yeah, we're.
It's like. I'm nervous, man.
I'm not nervous. I'm excited. I'm going to be there tomorrow. Tonight we're at hockey, and then we'll be home for probably the third or fourth inning. And but here it is right here. The core CPI month over month for September, 0.2 versus 0.3 expected. So a lower CPI blasts us to the upside here. Let's keep the good times going. Probably Apple also. Did that just make all-time highs? Almost 261 and change right now for Apple, as that continues to go upside as well. So yeah, everything right now. I mean, you mentioned Robinhood. What about SoFi right here? We saw Intel with a big report last night. That's blasting. SoFi, $29. Not really doing too much, but this is the story overnight, man. It was Intel. Oh, and we had that Canada, President Trump terminating everything with us right now. Actually, I thought Intel might have been going up here on that number, but no.
It's been pulling back all morning.
Pulling back all morning long. So I was like, I just came from downtown. My daughter was on the Weather Network. So if you're in Canada, get ready. It's going to be replayed all day on there. And then she was on CBC, but it was CBC Radio. I thought it was CBC, the other one. But just to get her in, you know, whatever, female baseball player.
Yeah. So. Well, we'll watch it later.
They're all over that. If I can find it, we can show it. But yeah. The Dome's busy already. It's pretty busy down there. The Drummers is his last season. Yeah. Drummer guy. Yeah, so I think he's been there for like 30 or 40 seasons. There's a guy that goes, "Let's go Blue Jays."
Outside of the stadium,
plays all these drums.
Since we've been kids.
Yeah.
Like I remember as a kid that dude would play the drums outside, and it's like I said, it's going to be an awesome day here for sure, and no questions asked. You cannot complain about this. Oh, we should crypto as well.
All three Toronto teams play: Leafs, Raptors, Jays.
Well, only one tonight.
And
only one.
Joe Carter won the World Series yesterday.
I'm rocking Joe
in '93.
I had the
yeah, I saw the Joe Carter. Yeah, that's good, man. Yeah.
I'm not turning all the way back. Bitcoin got to. We did hit 112 with a player's 12. We did hit 112, but I mean, everything's starting to pull back in. Like, to me, I don't know if I want to chase this early, but I mean, might be thinking bullish on a few things, but I don't know if I want to chase. I was already thinking bullish on Bitcoin already. So I like this test of 112. Look to see if we can make some higher highs up here. Just hold on. I want to see us hold on to this breakout on Bitcoin off the open. And if that can happen, then this one can be all systems go. Oh, the other thing that happened is Beyond Meat dropped some preliminary results. And oddly enough, didn't do much. I don't know what to tell you. It's still at $3, but they did drop some preliminary results, most of it in line. So this is once again going to be in play. Yeah, I mean, up 8% now, even though it hasn't moved much off of the number, but that's because of where it fell to in yesterday's trade, all the way down to $2.80 Beyond Meat. Bit of a round trip there. So yeah, we got lots to cover. I'm pretty sure we're going to have Michael Noss as well come up in the morning, as it's World Series fever. It's inflation getting better, I suppose, and we'll check back on the Fed tool because I'm assuming
the market's pulling back now. I mean, that was just a little bit of euphoria.
But we're still holding.
Yeah. Oh no, it's good. It's good. No doubt about that. We bounced off 25,000 pretty clean though, right? So now you're at 25.4, and again, it's just this is the number that we're talking about right here. It's just 0.2 versus 0.3. Is gold? I thought gold was down earlier on. Let's see, 376 still. Thank you, Randy. Gold's still down, but made a nice little move up off that number as well. And you just mentioned Bitcoin, 11.5. So a nice little opportunity there to maybe see if Bitcoin can get back to all-time highs again, around that 125 area. All right, let's go back over to the desk and we can review these numbers, get ready for Michael Noss, and talk to Adair.
Apparently no Michael today.
Oh, no Michael today? Okay. Bad. And go back to the desk anyways, and we'll just continue our normal show.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about, guys, so let's get right down to it. Intel, as the boys talked about yesterday, reporting earnings. Really good report, really aided by the umpteen amount of investments they've been getting lately, whether it's from the U.S. government or NVIDIA, but they did beat on the top line, which was important. They also announced the expansion of their new advanced chip at the Arizona facility. Also, Google expanding their Anthropic partnership with a massive TPU deal. We're talking about the Ironwood TPU, which is their 7th gen TPU. This would be their biggest TPU deal to date, the tensor processing unit, an equivalent of the GPU used for AI data centers. Ford as well beating on Q3, but cutting their 2025 outlook after the supplier fire that we reported to you earlier in the year. And Target also cutting 1,800 jobs amid stagnant growth. We'll get more into that, but as the boys mentioned, President Donald Trump terminating U.S.-Canada trade talks over this province's premier's insistence on running a campaign, or not a campaign ad, an ad with respect to tariffs down south of the border. This is something that we've known he's going to do for the last couple of weeks over here, and apparently it's starting to run there. Also, Procter & Gamble beating on Q1 expectations, but warning of possible headwinds as a result of tariffs. And Apple beginning U.S. AI server production in Houston. Should get more on that later.
Yeah, the Apple Houston production is pretty big, especially with regards to the emphasis we've seen with this administration in making these products, especially tech products, in-house in the U.S. So I think that's going to be a great look. Beyond the earnings here from Intel and Ford, we also had Deckers down roughly 12% at the pre-market lows there on their earnings report, which wasn't too bad, but the sales guidance for the fiscal year a little bit lower than maybe what analysts were expecting. We also have, I do want to talk about these quantum names once again here. Regetti, IONQ, QBTS, and QUPT on watch once again as the back and forth saga over whether or not the quantum names are in consideration for U.S. government funding continued basically until 3 p.m. yesterday. So definitely lots of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, definitely. Certainly a whole bunch to talk about, guys. Coinbase as well getting the nod today from JP Morgan, up nicely here in the pre-market, almost up 4%. And BYND really going here after the last couple of days, selling off aggressively, up nice, 12 1/3 in the morning, boys.
Sir, and if I see everybody, I see some people in the chat, what's going on? Why is this up? Why is that up? Intel's up because they reported earnings. The market's up because of that CPI print. Core CPI, CPI, both the month over month and the year over year numbers were 0.1 beats across the board. And the other story, which we didn't really tease that much, but I'm glad Sharif just brought it up, and Adair as well, is don't forget about the quantum names. There was all that back and forth yesterday in the afternoon about whether or not the government's in talks for potential investment and then taking a stake in some of the quantum names. So you have both IONQ and Regetti, both of them are bouncing a little bit higher here. I'm going to have eyes on Regetti again. I paid for some locates. The breakout that we were kind of hoping would happen in the afternoon actually took place and didn't really go anywhere right after the close. But it is above this little spike level, and this is where it got to when Regetti essentially came out and said, well, we are in constructive talks, and then there was a little bit of a walk back of the administration side of it, not really confirming anything. That said, it's trading higher, and it's a momentum play, right? So as long it held onto the range yesterday, they held onto the range yesterday, this is trading above that afternoon stop zone and all that news. As long as it can do that, like I favor the long in front of that 40-50. This is the area we wanted to break out in the afternoon there. And I'm a little bit like that Intel, like Intel's gapped up and they did beat. But it wasn't like their guidance was only in line, as had already been mentioned. And unlike the market, which is breaking out, this is sliding back in. Intel does not look as strong at all. I think it does some kind of an attempt to fill in a portion of the gap today. This one will require some patience if you like the long, I believe, because the market's looking great. And Intel, despite being up 5.5%, isn't really going with the rest of the market here.
Yeah, yesterday we got a super chat near the end of the day and was asking our opinion on quantum and was it worth a hold overnight. And I was saying you could just use these lows that we had made and try to go, this is a low yesterday, but use that and try to hold for an overnight little bump. So you're getting 4 or 5%, so I think that's good. And then we got a nice super chat last night, or yesterday as well, asking was it a good area to start buying BBAI? And I was like, yeah. You know, I said take a quarter of your position if you're looking to get big bear AI. So that's up 6% today as well as these markets just continue to get going here. So yeah, big opportunity today, I think, to hold on to this long. Let's see if it does hold. I mean, the market is pulling back quite nicely here from 25.5. So as the market continues to make the move downside, again, CPI 0.2 versus 0.3, started to really get this market going. Nasdaq up 0.8. It's the ES right now, just up 0.5. So half of a 1% right now for the S&P 500. Bank stocks, you know, JP Morgan. Sometimes these names will react to the CPIs, but there's just not enough printing happening right now. So nice move from 295 up to 296 and change. We'll see where this actually prints with better volume. And then we had oil movements as well. It's the X. Oops, it's the wrong way. It's the X contract, so we can have a quick look to see what's going on over there with November's contract. No, it's not X, it's Z. Z, there it is. That's what we're looking for, is December. $62 again. So we'll see. Nice move down. There's the pullback in oil. So yeah, as the Nasdaq goes up and the ES, we had a little bit of a pullback there, and then gold, we've already looked a little bit at that today as well. You know, the US dollar, we'll talk about that today. It's always on our screen now. So 375 here for GLD. All right, man, AMD has great momentum today. NVIDIA is trying to go back up to the upside. IBM on day 2 or day 3. BYND moving around. Ethereum.
SMCI from yesterday.
Oh yeah, SMCI was making lows. Yesterday it was almost down 10% at the end of the day there. So, okay, look, we've got upgrades and downgrades. Let's go over there, figure out what Joe's talking about,
nice.
And then we can assess those names.
All right, guys, happy Friday. I hope everyone's had a fantastic week so far. Let's get right into it, upgrades and downgrades. We're going to start with Intel. Yes, a lot going on here, guys. Reporting after the bell yesterday, Adara and I were covering. TD Cowen giving it the nod, guys. Price target raised to $38. And then we have Northrim Bancorp here, funding services by Hove Group. $33 is going to be that price target. And then we have Monster Beverages, also by JP Morgan, getting that $70 price target raised. Now, Union Pacific by Citigroup, getting that price target raised to $265. Decker's also reporting after the bell yesterday, tells the advisory group, downgrading that to $105. And then Mobileye by TD Cowen, getting that lowered to $16. Still slightly positive on the session. Now, Novavax as well, too, by Cantor Fitzgerald, getting the price target lowered to $18. And HubSpot by BMO Capital Markets, getting that price target lowered to $555. Now, as for some of the options activity, yes, Ford after the bell yesterday as well, too, guys. Lots of options activity here. Volume 24,400 at that $12.50 strike price. Open interest still substantially large, 23,700 contracts still currently open, and that's going to be expiring today. Now, Intel expiring next week, yes, Halloween, at that $45 strike price. This is going to be the most volume and the most open interest through specific strike prices, so that's why we selected it. 15,100 at that level, and then also 9,900 still currently open, and that's next week, guys. So I would expect that to grow a little bit in size. Now, Regetti Computing, a lot going on with this name yesterday as well, too. At that $40 strike price, we have 22,900 contracts traded and closed on the session, and then the open interest still relatively light with 3,600, and that's going to be expiring this week, guys. Now, as for the calls of the day, Tesla, that 450 strike price. I think it's really important to note here, I didn't get to show you guys the call of the day yesterday just due to some technical issues, but I remembered what I had documented, and the bid and the ask was sitting around $10.10, so $1,000 for that specific contract, and the bid was around $900, so $9 and something cents. Now you can see that in one day it has drastically dropped off. Well, there's many factors that we can take into consideration here. Well, the at-the-money IV was north of 100. It's now at 68%. Yesterday we were trading higher. You can see that the value of those contracts have dropped substantially in a span of 24 hours. The volume in the open interest has picked up, but you have to keep an eye out on it. When you're rolling through earnings, you're going to get the options market pricing in that volatility. And then sure enough, when you get a day like yesterday where the stock essentially doesn't pull back and just continues to trade throughout the whole session, there's less fear in the market. So if you were buying those contracts right after earnings report and on this week's expiration cycle, you're going to lose money to implied volatility and most definitely to theta. So I think that's really important to understand why and when you're buying these specific contracts, especially before and after earnings, guys.
Great insights there, Joe. And I'm sure we will talk a lot about 450 and Tesla, no questions asked. Like it's completely unavoidable today. But someone had actually asked a question about one of the upgrades and downgrades this morning already, and then asked me about Mobileye, which cut a downgrade. All that being said, I mean, people want to talk about autonomous. They're maybe not as popular play in autonomous. And one of the things that during this last couple of quarters we've been mentioning and seeing a lot of is have a look at when you get a lot of accumulation of support on individual stocks. Mobileye has that, so downgrade, whatever. It's once again held $13.50, like an absolute champion. This has just been sitting there, holding. If we're looking for another leg up, sometimes you look for the things that have lagged the move a little bit. So I think this is one, obviously it has some work to do for any kind of a breakout trade on a higher time frame, because you want to get up to like probably 16 for a break. All that said, a close above the 50 can happen today, and then it gives you an opportunity to play off that 13.5 long, and then you're going to hold to 16 and then break a little bit higher. This is one I'm going to put on the side burner. Not a lot of volume, not a day trade, but this is an accumulation swing opportunity. This will close again above that 50 period. Knock on wood, but if the futures continue today, I think it should.
Yeah, we're definitely going to go long on Tesla. I mean, breaking through this 350 area. I mean, it's been a week high there. We're now off earnings, so you know it's been digested in the market. We'll see if we can break through this 450. Did I say 350? 450 right there on TSLA, Randy. And of course, our good friend will be happy today because Ford is up 5%.
Yeah, buddy.
Was up 5%, now up 3.5%, but Ford right there up to 1280. Had that move down off earnings, and then right there right before earnings, and then ripped to the upside right there. Oh, backup camera? Oh, that's not too bad. Right into there. So we'll see now. Breaking out is Ford, Randy. We'll see if that one can hold it. So I'm going to be looking more at Tesla, but hey, man, 4 million shares. It's not the end of the world there, so we'll figure it out. But yeah, without Canada being... Well, with Canada now being terminated with the trade talks, I'm sure that will pick back up today. I don't think the termination will last too long. But Ford and GM possibly hurt on that as we have major, plants up here. So that's, I don't know if that they're going to have to eventually close or whatever. If the tariffs are whatever 100% or whatever they're going to be there from, I guess they're not talking.
Deal will
so I have
happen.
no idea what it is. But at some point, because you know what, he hasn't really slapped any tariffs yet. This is just going back and forth, right? Yeah. So I don't know exactly the dates on this, but they've now been terminated. So we'll wait to hear. I'm pretty sure Trump will probably get the mic at some point today and be asked about that, because it was a late night truth or whatever that he posted, right? It was like 7 or 8 o'clock. So we'll see how the market reacts to all of that today. U.S. dollar, Canadian dollar going down.
And it also wasn't just for our American viewers out there. This wasn't like the federal government putting out the ads. It was like a provincial government, which is like, imagine if a single state, like the governor of a state, put out an ad. Essentially, like that's what it is. Yes, Ontario, of course, is the biggest province in Canada, but it was not the federal government. So I would suspect that they'll have a talk and things will get smoothed over, and then talks will probably resume. Otherwise, I think maybe you would have some of the auto names looking a bit weaker. But oddly enough, I think like Ford might be an opportunity today. I'll be looking at Tesla as well, but I don't. It's one where it's like Tesla's not doing what I expect. I got to keep it on the back burner because we have talked about this as a stock which is trying to break out a little bit the way GM has, and the prior highs in here, like the prior highs, pretty much we're at them. You could break 13, but the prior high was like 1285 or so. So this is holding a little bit of a breakout play. I think it's worth watching. We did get a super chat here from Chris. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know if I have good thoughts on Deckers. Here we go. Thoughts on Deck. There we go. Good earnings and tanked. Daily chart looking interesting. See, now the thing is, if it's a stock that I really like and they go down on earnings, then my immediate thought is dip buy. Now, ultimately on IBM, say yesterday, I didn't really think the dip buy would literally be in the pre-market of day one. I thought you could wait a couple of days and then you could catch the bottom. That ended up being untrue. Deckers is different because, like, technically, it's not so good here for Deckers. It just, like, it's breaking the lows right now. So regardless of what you think of the earnings, like a flat bottom break is like that last line of support is gone. It broke 100, it broke the 94 support, it's now down double digits. So if it was an upward trending stock that pulls this, like Amazon did, or a couple of cybersecurity names, not all of them, a few of the cybersecurity names did this. I remember Fortinet did this recently. Yeah, I'd go in there and dip buy, but I'm not feeling it when it's the flat bottom break like this on Deckers. Just from a technical standpoint, like that support doesn't come back in. I don't know where the bottom is here because there's nothing to work back off of.
All right, yeah, thanks for the super chat. We'll be talking about all these names. We also do have to acknowledge Nimrod here. Thank you for the 50 membership. So hopefully you guys have it all set up there in your account and you can accept those memberships. So thank you so much. And that gets you, there it is right here, that gets you the morning note from Sharif as well. Now that you're a member, $5, you get a more detailed note. But you can get our watch list completely for free as well. Link in description for that. We're going to run over the watch list. Neil has Sharif's morning note up right now, and you can go over to it. Yeah.
Thanks, Nimrod.
Yeah, there it goes. Yeah, you just get all of this, man, and it's just like all the details. This is intel. So it's not just simple talk about what's been happening in the market. This breaks it down. There's the Google expansion. It's a whole bunch of notes here as you go, and it's sometimes, how many pages does this say? It's like 7, 8, 9 pages some of the times, and it's really interesting. There's Target. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. I saw that last night. I thought it'd be up more than that, 1,800 corporate jobs cut. And there's some analysis, right? So it's not just like, okay, this is what's happening in the market. This is how it could affect price targets, upgrades or downgrades, key support and resistance levels, which is that box there on the top right. So anyways, yeah.
And for the price of the membership, you're literally talking about less than a cup of coffee a day. What a cup of coffee probably costs for our parents.
Yeah, my family there, I just dropped them off, and they, this is her. She was just on, I don't know if you can see, that's the Rogers Center there. She's on air right there with the Weather Network. There's the Weather Network guy, and she's waiting to go online, on air there. But I just dropped them off, and they were walking to the subway, and my 11-year-old daughter goes, "Where's the closest Starbucks?"
Of course.
So they got a Starbucks
there's always one
on their way, and then my wife hasn't taken the subway in forever. She's like, "How do I pay?" So they got that all figured out. But
just tap your card.
That's what I told her. I was like, "Come on, man, we already discussed this."
What?
Just tap your card on there. Anyways, all right. So yeah, it's going to be a good day. Lots of runners too. Like we talked about OpenDoor, BBAI, Beyond Meat, D-Nut. There's a couple other one, that YYAI stock again here today. So there's just going to be lots. Procter & Gamble had a great report. So, you know, if somewhere momentum and quantum and AI and tech isn't your thing, we got some good reports coming through recently as well. So yeah, it's 8:54. Look, it's 35 minutes until we open. The Nasdaq's going to open up at an all-time high. So that's pretty cool on the day when the Jays go 1-0
behind
the series.
Trey, the rookie.
Trey, and then yeah, I bet Blake Snell, and then tomorrow, yeah, I'm sort of sad that I'm going tomorrow because they get to see Yamamoto, which might be a problem for us. But the game might be quick. Maybe it'll be like a 2-1 game.
I've also never seen, like, that's the crazy thing, is I've never seen Yamamoto live.
Yeah.
The guy's
see the lineup for Shohei? It was crazy yesterday. There's like 5 people waiting to talk to Vladdy, and there's like 500 people waiting to talk to Shohei.
He's his own different type of scene.
You know what, though? I'm surprised he can't speak English yet. That's really
my theory is
I was disappointed with
my theory. His English is probably way better than you realize,
maybe.
And it's probably an easy way for him to be more low key.
Because wasn't he 6 years with the Angels? How long was he with the Angels?
The guy was
so 6 years with the Angels, now 2 years with the Dodgers. So he's at least been living.
That's what I'm saying. Trust me.
For 8 years.
Trust me, his English is probably way better than
Anyways,
the same way when people
I could never figure out. I can never speak Japanese. It's not like if I moved to Japan in 8 years, I would still be like.
I'm willing to bet this guy's holding
sushi
conversations, no problems.
Yeah,
no problems.
Yeah.
But who knows? He's a beast. He's an absolute beast, like the market's a beast. But he's not tonight. Tonight we strike him out 4 times.
Wow, he's leading off. He leads off, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It's funny that he's going to be the first person that we see. And his last game was the 3 home run game.
Yeah, and the crowd's gonna boo him. But the first time he played in Toronto, we were booing him like crazy, and then he went yard the first at bat. So I don't know if that's the best strategy because it seems to pump him up there. He's one of those dudes. But you know what?
One of them.
It doesn't matter because all you need is a chip in the chair. It's just the market. You can't win if you're not there. You got to be sitting down in front of the keys, taking a shot. And you know what? Win, lose, or draw. Hey, you got to take your shot, so I'm glad we get to. Let's get back up to the desk. Oh, we got another super chat. Before we go back to the desk, Willis Addison just sent a super chat. And, I was going to put it on screen myself, but there it is. Grand Rising Traders, gold puts, and deck puts.
Gold puts, okay.
Well, we just saw that Deckers chart, which probably the only thing that looks really bad this morning that I've taken a look at is that Deckers chart.
Great call.
But it makes... Look, if the market's breaking out to all-time highs, this little consolidation that you have in GLD maybe could pull us back a little bit here. Makes sense. Market up, risk back on. Then something like gold could have a little bit of a pullback, which I think, to me, I think that's an easy buy if it gets anywhere near the 50-period moving average. That and silver, for sure. Apparently, there's another super chat, but I don't see it. Oh, there it is.
We go fan funding.
Oh, there it is. WGRX.
I don't know anything about WGRX.
I do not know.
WGRX.
Oh, could break $1.
Oh, well, logistics. This is isn't this in our note? I think we might have this listed in our note today. Okay, just stay tuned. Yeah. We'll talk more about W. It is it in there? Newmont Corporation. Yeah, it is there. Wednesday morning, the company announced here, WGRX. Yeah, so it's in our morning note here again. Partnership with DataVault AI. So pharmacy chain. So it looks something here. So they're starting to go back up to the upside here and start to go back. They've already gone up 142% here. So an AI blockchain pharmacy type thing here. Market capitalization of only 36 million but a float of 12 million shares. So approximately 10% short here on WGRX. And this is one of those names, Neil, where we kick ourselves because when it goes over $1 and stays there, we say, why didn't we punch through $1? This name already went through $1, but the thing about this is it went through in the pre-market. Let's see what it does here as the market opens up. If we can hold VWAP at 97.98 cents, I think this name blasts higher. Once stocks get to $1, they act much differently. So let's see if that dollar area is held. It changes the way the stock looks. You don't get into these 4 digits. Obviously, once you break through $1, then you have the even pennies. So it should be a good trade here on WGRX. Thank you for those super chats, Ariel. So
this could do 1 billion shares today.
I mean, every day there's something doing 1 billion.
Yeah, yesterday it was. I kind of thought it would be W. Because that W, what was it? YYRI. Anyway,
YYAI.
YYAI. That's the one. I thought it would be that one again to actually have it up. I didn't pay for the locates on it, but this one, no, this one looks spicy. I always like that dollar level. I started out as a penny stock trader, so I do like some of these. And VWAP, I like a gap up holding above the volume weighted average price. So the thing that's cool about this is we'll see. There's a seller, it seems, at 02. And if it's as clean as just holding this area the entirety of the open, until we get to the open, then a simple break, scalp some out, see if it holds VWAP, could be the play here on WGRX. I might replace YYAI with this as far as my level 2s. Just given that it's at the dollar level. Please hold on to it, because I just don't want it to lose 95 cents, because then I'll actually be thinking short. And it's more fun to go long. But I'd be thinking short if it fails VWAP off the open.
I only have some long ideas today, but yeah, some of these names, the smaller names, yeah, for sure. Like I think with Nasdaq and big cap today, there's just a lot of good stories with Intel, Ford, Procter and Gamble. Like it's a broader bid today. I feel like that's why I wanted to look at some banks.
The only shorts I like are, I mean, it's
gold could be a good
temporarily
short.
If something happens here with the WGRX, but SMCI because of that guide yesterday, I'm just thinking continuation short on that. And I'm willing to trade in either direction on Beyond Meat. I have zero, I refuse to be too biased when it comes to Beyond Meat, especially when it's inside the range. Well, it's as simple as I want to take whatever reversion sets up, whether that's a bounce off the lows, like this 260 area. If it trends down and does a reversion like this, I want to play that. Or if it plays to the upside in front of $4, then I want to play a reversion there. I'm just, whichever direction it goes, I want to play the reversion on Beyond Meat, because I don't think it'll sustain one direction as far as everyone seems to think.
It feels like it was just a couple of days ago where the market was like, and we were worried about some of this stuff happening in the market, and then all of a sudden today it's back to all-time highs. This is the stuff that happens in these bull markets, man. It's like all these little pullbacks seem to be lasting like 1 or 2 days, if that. Yeah, just interesting to see how much strength there is in this market. Yeah, that WGX has had a wild ride on its daily chart too. So, okay, yeah, let's go back over the desk. It's 9:01. We'll begin our rundown of the watch list.
Yeah, 67.74, guys. That's where we closed out yesterday on the ES December contract. The overnight high is, well, it's this morning's high, actually, 68.37. We're above 6,800 right now. So that's going to be our first level of support. Let's see if we can hold the 100-point level. If we continue trending and we take out the overnight or this morning's high at 37, we're looking at 50 as resistance. All right, guys, make sure to get the watch list every day. Adair prepares it and we all use it. It comes right into your inbox, helps you know what's moving, and no good morning routine is complete, of course, without a watch list. And if you want a bit more of a thorough watch list with technicals, support and resistance, make sure to hit the join button below this video and get that sent to you every morning as well. Let's start with the first topic, though. Intel reporting earnings after the bell yesterday, and what a report it was. They beat on the top line. The bottom line, not directly comparable. So let's talk about this. They printed $13.65 billion in revenue. The street was looking for just a little bit over 13, so an easy beat there, but they printed about 23 pennies adjusted EPS, which isn't directly comparable to estimates because of a unique accounting treatment. So what's the issue here? Well, they were aided by several different investments, most notably the $8.9 billion deal by the U.S. government taking a stake in Intel, as well as the $5 billion aided by NVIDIA. So the U.S. government now owns about 433.3 million shares at $20.47 each. Let's talk about how they did in their different segments. Client computing, which is a euphemism for PCs and laptops. That was nicely up 3% year over year, now printing $8.5 billion on that. Their data center and CPUs, basically AI and what comes along with that, that was up that was printing 4.1 billion, but down 1% year over year. Their foundry service as well, something they've been trying to get off the ground, took home $4.2 billion on that, also down year over year. And Adara, they dropped their headcount from 124,100 employees now down to 88,500.
Yeah, that foundry services report there also did miss guidance slightly. I was seeing guidance around 4.5 billion for that segment. Their Q4 revenue and sales guide really tepid. EPS guide in line. The midpoint of their sales guide actually missed estimates. But here's the thing. Here's a whole bunch of analyst notes here. And if you guys notice a pattern, they've all raised their price targets on the stock, but their ratings are still kind of neutral, right? We've got equal weight from Morgan Stanley, neutral from Wedbush, JP Morgan underweight, Rosenblatt sell, all increasing the price target. So the sense you get here with these analysts on Intel is that this could go higher, but they're still a little bit skeptical going forward with regards to the rating.
All right, Neil, you're in this. What are you doing?
Well, every single one, I don't know if you noticed that, every single one of those.
You're in Intel?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were
No, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
So I just heard something about AMD. I'm just going to double check. Okay, it's something crazy. AMD just breaking the highs. Anytime we hear news in our ear that's in a stock that's pertinent, then we're going to mention it. No, but all of those analyst ratings, if you happen to notice the price targets, they were all underneath the current price. So yeah, like by definition, you have some analysts that were probably already tepid on the stock because like how could they, they can't be saying overweight or a buy if they all have price targets under 40 when this stock was, the highest one we saw there was like 38, right? So if all of them were already under that price and it was at 38 yesterday, then they were all bearish ones that are just trying to catch up. So I'm not gonna wade too much into that. Intel has had a history of having guidance that's relatively conservative, so the fact that it's in line to some misses is not necessarily the end of the world, but you can't love the fact that the market is booming on that CPI, and really we haven't held the gap to any degree yet on Intel. So when I see a trend like this, I'm just thinking back into the prior high. And these tops, this is a real wick at the open on the 10th, where it got to 39.5. So that and 39, which is the prior high. I mean, if it comes down to it, the entirety of the gap at 38.5, like each of those 50-cent levels is where I would look for the reversion buy here on Intel. On the daily chart, it's just looking to take the next step up. But oftentimes we have to retest the prior high to do so. And this feels like a stock that wants to test a little bit lower. So the futures come in, or it just continues on its own. 39.5 is where I'm looking for the first dip buy for myself. If I see a boatload, if there's just a few million shares at 40 or something, I'd probably take a shot earlier, but 39.5 is the level I like better.
Yeah, the guide in line, 8 cents a share for Q4, midpoint of the sales guide. So it's not a great look forward, which is what I think is creating this little bit of a movement down. We got to be happy with it being up 5%, man. I mean, we both thought that Ford might have been a better long into the print yesterday than Intel. So I think it's probably outperforming where most people thought Ford or Intel would go. But it is great to have that government back, man. I mean, when they're sitting on 450 million shares, as Sharif and Adair mentioned there, that's a good little, buy the dip opportunity, because I don't know if the government's going to be selling anything anytime soon. I mean, it's a big sale if and when that does happen. We got to pay attention to that. But yeah, whenever there's a gap like this, we always say play to VWAP, and right now we're underneath VWAP. So I do think there's an opportunity to go short at some point there as well today. I mean, maybe looking at this $41 spot. It's so tough to trade stock off earnings, because we just, what was the options like yesterday? Like, is this move bigger than the implied move? Will it continue to go up? Will it fade all the way back down? Will people take profits or not? So we'll try to watch the tape and see if we can figure it out. But I don't know, man. At the end of the day, I'm just going to give this one at least probably till 10 o'clock before I actually make a play on Intel. There's just so much else happening. We don't even have AMD on the board, but like, you want to talk about a super strong stock here today. AMD is on here. It's one of my, yesterday was my #1 idea, I think, but today we have it on here as just a long. I wrote down 240 long. I don't know if we're going to get back into there, but 242 VWAP might look good for this one. Look, up 3.5, almost 4% here, not on earnings, on news with IBM and Quantum and using their chips. So I think that's a good story as well. And yeah, I just heard about Alibaba as well. That just continues to climb higher. All right, you want to put the super chat on the screen? I don't even know what it is yet there.
Let's throw it up there.
There it is. I've changed my approach to trading, you guys. Fixed my psychology, perfect. Ooh. And trading long-term versus short-term trades approach. Yeah, there it is. We'll hit oh, there we go. I got the double bang for you right there. I'm not sure who did that. Oh, Aram. Yeah, so good. I mean, you always hear people say that, day trading is a losing game. And it's just, It's because there's not proper risk management. So I hope that a lot of, I mean, that's not why, but I hope that you can always adjust. I mean, we adjust all the time, and we have different styles, different traders, different markets, right? Like if you're not feeling it today, sit on your hands or go lighter. And if you do see a great opportunity, then go for it. I mean, I'm here swinging for home runs like, you know, every day, basically, looking for great opportunities to trade. Some days they're not there, and we go 0 for 4. And some days, well, we don't go over 4, but some days we'll go and we'll take swings and we'll wind up red on the day. And other days, you know, we hit them pretty big. And the volatility of the market also has to be considered, right? I mean,
knowing the type of market that you're in matters. Like I'll use Beyond Meat as an example. Beyond Meat is not the Beyond Meat of the last couple of days, or like 2 days ago, where you're going to get like, I think you're not going to get $2, $3, $4 moves. So therefore, I'm expecting to play like range bound instead of like trying to take breakouts. It's like, okay, fade like yesterday. You just take your 20-cent scalp trade because that's what Beyond Meat wants to give you. It's not going to give you that $1.50, $2. But we have a couple super chats here before we get back up to the desk and continue with Google and Anthropic. Specifically, we actually are going to talk about that one next. And I know, Ariel, you meant 260 for Alphabet. So we'll go up top. We'll get the story from the desk and come back and discuss whether we think that Alphabet is going to hit that 260.
First, we'll talk about AMD because we didn't get a chance to talk about it on the first half an hour. So what happened here was IBM announced it successfully ran a quantum error correction algorithm on AMD's standard commercially available chips, not the MI450 or the MI350, standard commercially available chips. The achievement marks a milestone towards commercializing quantum computing, which allows, of course, for real-world integration. The algorithm helps stabilize error-prone qubits, which is a key hurdle in developing practical quantum computers. IBM said the algorithm can now operate about 10 times faster than the required benchmark. So a good move here for NVIDIA, as it, of course, positions itself in the high-performance and hybrid computing market. So that's the headline from there. Let's go ahead now and speak about the next one. Google expanding their Anthropic partnership with a massive TPU deal here. They announced, and it moved aggressively actually yesterday in the aftermarket, popping up from 253 all the way up to 257, giving back a little bit now. But it was a good headline over here with access now, Anthropic that is, to over 1 million TPUs. It's a multi-year deal valued at tens of billions of dollars, and it adds over a gigawatt of compute capacity by next year. Anthropic employs a multi-cloud architecture, which means they spread their workloads across Google's TPUs, AWS's Trainiums, as well as NVIDIA's GPUs. And the diversification, of course, enables Anthropic to optimize price, performance, power, and they're now using, by the way, Ironwood TPUs, which is the 7th gen version of Google's TPUs. Adara Anthropic's annual revenue run rate has surged lately, up $7 billion. They have over 300,000 businesses using Claude, a 300-time increase in 2 years.
Yeah, certainly going to be a lot of use there for those Google TPUs. I want to mention as well, this story was announced yesterday, but it was actually reported on Tuesday evening by Bloomberg. So the knowledge here is not necessarily brand new, which is always worth noting for some of these news-related plays. Amazon, though, is still Anthropic's lead partner. They've invested roughly $8 billion versus Google's $3 billion. And again, they still use Amazon and NVIDIA Cloud as well. After what we saw with the AWS cloud outage earlier this week, makes sense maybe to have that diversified. All
right, Neil, it spiked right at 430, giving back a little bit of it now.
Yeah, it's where it spiked to at 430 and where it spiked on that 830 CPI print that is the trouble zone. And it's pretty obvious to see, like the entirety of the last week and a half, we've gone to 257. We've broken 257 a couple of times by a few pennies, and it's been rejected. So until there are buyers above that price, then it's resistance until it's not. And you can look at some support here at like 250. I'd call it like 252.5 to 253 as like a first line of support, like where we closed. And then if you go back to Tuesday, right here, it ended up being like a resistance spot on the dump on Tuesday. So that resistance maybe gives you a little bit of support on a dip. So in terms of thinking it's getting to 260, do I think it's getting there eventually? Absolutely. Like Google actually still has one of the better valuations in this group. But for whatever reason, there's a seller at this 257 that we got to clear out. And if it doesn't clear it, you got to be patient to just buy the dips. Eventually, this is going to break out, and I think it's probably more along the lines of like a 57.5 break or a 58 break than taking 57, because 57 just keeps on failing over and over again. I just think it's requiring a little bit of patience to an alphabet and be more willing to buy a dip instead of just, oh, I'm going to take it out when it takes out that even dollar high. Because the amount of times that the selling has come in right at that price is just a little bit much for me. So especially on a Friday. Like on a Friday, if there's a level that has been failing to break, again, just a 9:30 breakout is I'm not a fan of them, especially on a Friday. I'd rather buy the dip and then let your exit liquidity be that top.
So yeah, same exact idea basically. I have Google, I'm bidding right now at 255. So if 255 can go, we'll figure it out. I was actually, yeah, there's the Anthropic news, you know, we learned about that. But I also just think quantum being back in play again here today with, I wrote down IONQ, Regetti, QBTS and all of that. This is AMD still. But I'm bidding down here at 255. So hopefully we can get that. That's the 200 period moving average. We like to use that as a level. So that's what I'm using. It's not rocket science for me. If it drops back in below here, we're taking a shot. I like the name, huge move up there yesterday. It's been pretty good, but it does have the ability to do things like this. This was on that OpenAI news about a web browser. So, you know, all the way to the downside there, you know, everyone thought, okay, maybe that was a negative, but, you know, they're already figuring this all out with Gemini and some of those search. At the end of the day, next week, I believe, is Google, you're going to get the truth. And I mean, I think this thing is just going to rip through. We're already hovering up here. It is ready to explode right now. But like Neil said, there's not really enough going on right now for me to be like, let's just go long immediately off the open. But if we can get a dollar dip, I mean, now we don't even need that much. I'm bidding 255.05. Hopefully that comes in and fills us, and then we could just play it off of that, man. I mean, where are we getting out if we're wrong? I mean, that 253, I'm willing to sit in here and let this work a little bit. Maybe a 254 break. Like, let's just admit we're wrong, and if we have to reload it, maybe we can down here. This is your 200 period moving average for, and you can see it helped yesterday, for Google here on a 5-minute chart. So let's wait to see if that holds. At the end of the day, it's a 255 long for me. I'm sitting there. It might be the very first stock we take. I have another name that I want to go over quickly because it might break. On here, my #1 trade idea for the day is Palantir, and it's breaking 184. So if Palantir can get through 184 here, then I think we do look to test some of these tops right now. With the Nasdaq at all-time highs, Palantir up a 1.5. It really ripped off that open, off the CPI number. If it rips off the open, I do have a 184 buy, so I'm going to push the long, or we're going to bid down here at 182, back where VWAP is. So if we're able to get Palantir long, I like that, and I'm willing to break the top on this one today, and then we'll have to average back in. And they could be wild off the open. That's my only fear with the Nasdaq just trying to figure itself out right now. We could get that wild action. I didn't write the TQs down, but we will be trading the futures at some point today. So I'm waiting to see how this all on balance, how it all balances in the first 5 to 10 minutes, just to see how the Nasdaq sort of fades out. But I do like the Palantir break and the Google dip buy.
All right, guys, let's talk about JP Morgan upgrading Coinbase to overweight. So here's the deal. They had them at neutral. Now they're pumping it up to overweight with a nice price target increase as well from 342 to 404, implying about a 25% upside from the current levels. It's analyst Kenneth Worthington. He said Coinbase remains undervalued versus its peers, despite the fact that it's already up 30% year to date. Some of the things that he likes are revenue diversification, a base ecosystem expansion, and the company's ability to monetize these stable coins. But what's really getting him there is this base blockchain token. I didn't even know what this was. I had to look into it. Apparently, it's a token that basically consolidates the entire market cap of the crypto industry on a 1-to-1 ratio. He says it's a good driver here for Coinbase. He sees potential future for this base token, and he estimates the base token's market cap could reach about 12 to 34 billion, really depending on adoption and circulation levels. But Adara, he also likes this other growth driver, Coinbase's experiment with USDC yields.
Yeah, and apparently this is a strategy basically involving enhanced yields on USDC deposits to incentivize membership. This will also, though, end up boosting platform monetization. They actually expect the USDC initiatives to help Coinbase offset their trading revenue volatility and have that recurring income from subscriptions. I do want to mention another Bitcoin-related catalyst involving JP Morgan, but a little bit more general here. Bloomberg reporting that JP Morgan is going to be allowing Bitcoin and Ether as collateral for loans in a greater push in the banking space to accept crypto. So that's going to be an interesting story if that gets confirmed.
All right, guys, we're knocking on the door of 4% here with Coinbase. What's the move?
Yeah, I like Bitcoin today. Like, that's probably what I'm going to trade, but let's be real. Like, Coinbase has had a really good base. First of all, I think this is actually pretty solid news for Coinbase, and it's needed something to have it catch up a little bit for the crypto run and the overall market run that's been happening. And maybe this can be it, because it's just been sort of languishing, this move. 300 is a good level for Coin, and now it seems like 320 is a bounce. It should close above the 50 period today to break trend and head back higher. So I think, yeah, this is something to be bullish on, no questions asked. I prefer IBIT today. We've been trading IBIT, ETH, maybe even like some silver. Like, one of these a day is on my radar. But I liked, and we were talking about this with Joe at the close yesterday, sort of like that breakout that didn't have continuation. And there was a technical break here at about 62, just above 62.5, and it then fell apart on IBIT. Well, we're right back up at some of those highs. So as long as we can hold on to first level 63 and then 62.5, I'm going dip buy hunting in IBIT. But with that Coinbase, I do like the fact they got the upgrade. I think it's making a base. Once it closes above that 50-period moving average, I think it's got at least 15% of catch up to do. But I'd rather trade specifically IBIT today for the long.
I mean, we had a nice recovery here in HUD-8. I mean, this is another crypto name that we've talked about a little bit. We got that Eric Jackson bump a couple days ago there, as he was saying this is the next play. He was calling it an AI infrastructure crypto play, so whatever that means. But, you know, nice move to the upside there yesterday and continuing today as well, back up another 7%. So, you know, like when these stocks, the frothy names, when they start to go to the upside and there's bad sentiment again in the market, that will come back down in. So that just bounced almost off the 50-period moving average one more time. So I think this continues to go. It looks like it wants to break through 45 and get up here into 47, 48, 49. I mean, if the market continues to go up in the crypto space, I actually think that HUD-8 does have a good opportunity to hold some of these levels. If you do get a 200-period average, moving average play, look what it did yesterday. This is it here, the green. It just loved it until the last 10 minutes, and it didn't. So if we're able to drop back into here, we'll see if we can ride this thing all the way back up. So I'd like HUD-8 down here in the mid 42s. So if we get something around there, even yesterday's high, you know, we've broken up. So now you get good news in Coinbase. You get the crypto markets back up to the upside here today. So this is a good move. 41.50 would be the low, but that's 41.75. So I think if we can buy somewhere in here, and if we get a dip down off the open into 42, I think HUD-8 is a buy. So that's what, you know, I like that. And then, you know, just looking at what Bitcoin's doing, 11.3. IBIT here this morning, it had that move up on the CPI, but it came almost all the way back. So the market did it. The market's kind of hovering here, but Bitcoin is only up now about 25 cents from that move, right? So we did a high of $64. Let's wait to see if we can break through. I'm not too sure. Like, again, it's been disappointing. Bitcoin's been disappointing. Let's just call it like it's fine. It looks fine. It's not tanking or anything like that. But the market and all these other indexes, a lot of different ETFs are at all-time highs right now, and it wasn't rocket science to do that. I think you're taking on a lot of risk when you buy Bitcoin, to be honest with you. The market's probably a safer play. So right now, let's see if Bitcoin can get back up to the upside. If you are playing relative weakness, Bitcoin's there. I mean, Bitcoin right now is still 10, 12% off of its all-time highs, while the broader markets are there. So if we do have positive feelings for Bitcoin, it's probably a decent spot to get involved with right now because it will play that catch-up game. So we'll wait. I mean, I don't think it has anything to do with government shutdowns. We've seen the US dollar move to the upside. We've seen gold move to the downside. Maybe it's time for Bitcoin to start going back up. So we'll wait on that. But 11.3 right now, not a super exciting level for me.
BYND because it's really going here, boys. 18% zigging and zagging right now into that 3 1/3 here in the pre. We'll have to see how this ends up doing. But they released preliminary unaudited Q3 results, guys. They reported revenue of around $70 million, which was within the range, I should say, of the prior guide. They initially guided 68 to 73 million. It shows obviously continued softness in their core markets, really because of reduced operations in China as well as ongoing consumer weakness in both the US and Europe. Gross margins here projected to be about 10 to 11%. That's down sharply from their historical norms, but it is up from last quarter's negative figures. The result is about they actually included $1.7 million in charges tied to the closure of their operations in China. They also expect to record a non-cash impairment charge in Q3 related to certain long-lived assets deemed non-recoverable. And even though the exact amount is undetermined at the moment, they expect the impairment to be material. Still a high short float for this Adira, and something tells me this is really not trading on fundamentals.
No, not at all. And we even had an analyst note on this that I'm sure the market will not care about. Maintaining underperform here from Mizuho, lowering the price target to $1.50. It's trading well above that right now, $3.40. Other thing here is that, yeah, the operating expenses, they're expecting here between $41 and $43 million, but they're including a roughly $2 million one-time charge. I think these one-time charges, one-time impairment charges, et cetera, are really the key in this Beyond Meat preliminary report. But their full report is expected by November 4th. Companies already confirmed that date.
All right, boys, we're knocking on the door, 20% now, up a few percent since I last reported. What is the move?
Yeah, I'm kind of expecting like that range from 2 days ago in the afternoon to sort of stay the range. It held inside of that yesterday. And I'm sort of talking about here, like that 260 into a 420 high, like just the afternoon top. You also go right into the highs from from 3 days ago. So in that vein, if we get to yesterday's high, or if we get to that 4 to 420 high, I'm going to look fade. If we had dipped down underneath 3, I'd be looking bounce play in that 260 to 270 range. So I just want to play the reversion game on Beyond Meat today, not try to get too cute about it. And that other small cap, I just thought I'd shoot, what was the name of that stock again? It was WGRX.
Yeah.
WGRX. Unfortunately, I wish this was not true, but unfortunately, it lost VWAP. So yeah, I wanted this one to be along today, but that required it holding VWAP and potentially breaking out the dollar. If it closed the opening, this closed the opening range underneath $1, then I'm going to treat it like YYAI yesterday and just look to short the volume weighted average price and try to hold it. So yeah, this one might not be too long, but at least Beyond Meat, I'm just looking at those 2 outer boundary levels and waiting for my chance at a trend break.
Yeah, patience today in some of these small cap names, and Beyond Meat, I think, as well. I mean, just wait to see if you can get up to that $4 mark, and then you can short it. The funny thing about that is Mizuho's price target there lowered to 150. A week ago, this thing was at 56 cents. So I'm not sure what their price target was before this, but this is why price targets and all that really don't mean anything at all. Like, if they lowered it to 150, well, where was it a week ago? Like it was at 56 cents. You know, it was at $1.50, like. So it's just that those kind of price targets don't really mean anything to me. This is obviously a clearly momentum play that's just fallen right out of bed. You know, so right now we'll wait to see if it can hold. This is the 200 period here on the daily. That's $3. So right now you're stuck in the middle of 2 trade ideas. One is to go long there on the 200 period and use yesterday's bottom as your route, which is 280. So you can go long right here at $3 or so, or even wait a little bit lower. It'll probably break 3 and then do a dance and then decide what to do. So I think waiting for 3, which is where the 200 period average makes a lot of sense. And then, like I said about yesterday's high right into here, I know it's not. And 2 days ago high. It was yesterday. It was kind of like there was no significance of this high. Like I think we were all sort of waiting for that $4. Never got there. So I'm not sure how many of you caught this short back down in. I was trying to find like 200 period or 50 period. That's this pink is the 50 period moving average. But I just feel like I'm, you know, just chasing an idea if I use any lines here to try to trade this thing. So I'm just going to use $3 as a straight up support level and $4 as resistance. So I'm going to go short if we can get anywhere near here, and then you can use this, you know, pardon the price, but like 420 area as maybe an out there if you're short. So give yourselves 25, 30 cents worth of room there. And I think a very similar trade here on the downside, right? If you break below this 280, or you can go down low from yesterday's pre-market low of 270. So I think 30 cents either way. You go long at 3, you take a shot, or you go short at 4 and you take a shot. I think if they're like one way or the other, I prefer the long. I think there's too much room to go back up to that $8 level. It's up 17% right now. Maybe it does get squeezed. It's still 60% short. So there's a good chance that this name rips. So if I had a choice, I would wait to go long, which I do. I would go wait to go long around $3. I didn't even pay for shorts, so I got to do that if I'm thinking short $4.
All right, guys, let's talk about Quantum QBTS here, though, up nicely in the pre, 7 1/5 here, looking to go a little bit more. Our very good friend Shkreli slamming U.S. quantum investments. He says the government is not a venture capital firm. They shouldn't be investing like one. He criticized President Trump's latest plan to allocate federal equity stakes into quantum computing firms, and he called it inappropriate for the government to do so. He argued the government's, as I said, not a venture capitalist, and that the private sector capital is sufficient to fund innovation in the space. As we know that he revealed short positions in several quantum stocks, including IONQ, Regetti, QBTS. What do you make of this, Adara?
I mean, I think he doesn't have too much to worry about because it's actually really hard to tell if the government is even considering these investments. We heard super back and forth reports, but the biggest thing to know is officials from the Commerce Department of the U.S. told both Reuters and CNBC reporters that apparently they were not in any talks for equity stakes with any quantum companies. Now, after that was resolved, about an hour after that, we got Bloomberg coming out and saying that, oh, they're trying to give a boost, quote unquote, to these quantum names from the U.S. government. So no confirmation, but from what we've heard from the Commerce Department, it suggests that at least they're not in equity stake talks yet.
All right, guys, what are you making of this? I mean, a little this, a little that. You going in quantum today?
No, I'm not going to avoid it. I'm not going to try to guess whether it happens. If an investment happens, it happens. Let's just play the price action and leave the rest to everyone to report. So Regetti 42 is sort of an obvious spot. I'm playing the over-under game here. You hold over 42. I'm looking for the long. If we never break it, I did pay for locates, but I'm actually, with the market kind of being up here, I'm actually not thinking an immediate short on Regetti off of that level. Oh my goodness, we didn't get to the imbalances. There weren't a lot of large imbalances, but BBAI 500 to the buy side, as I'm going to drop the countdown on. QBTS is actually a buy of 900,000, and that YYAI of 600,000 as well. So let's drop it for the final time this week. After that big CPI print, let's ring the opening bell.
Yeah, good.
Tesla,
yeah. I was going to say, I'm about to get into something
Tesla's going to break.
Right, okay. So I was wondering what one is going to be first. So AMD is dropping a little bit. I'm waiting for 4150s. Neil just mentioned Tesla. I also do
48.
Okay, good. I also have Palantir. So I think Palantir will probably get me in first. There it is. So I am now long on Palantir as it is my first trade of the day right now. PLTR. Let's see how high we can fly on this name right now. See if we'll get something out now as we're starting to go. So that's going to be a good trade so far. But the day is still early. Long Palantir. We wrote it down. We've got it. So there it goes. Neil, I missed Tesla. So that was good that you got that break there. I completely missed it. Good trade.
Yeah, that's a weird one because I put it in at the last second. I completely forgot about Tesla.
Maybe I did get. I got long now, obviously. Yeah, here it comes.
Yeah, it just made the break. I got out at 51.5, and whoa, yeah, and out break even very quickly. Whoa, it's right Tesla. Back at 45. I'm reloading this at 45.
Yeah, Tesla crashed there pretty hard. I'm still long Tesla. I don't even know what happened there as Tesla coming right in. So there's the 450 break. It just cracked real hard. It's too bad because our Palantir is an absolute freaking smoke show right now for Palantir. That is now $1.50 in the money. That is our #1 trade idea here is Tesla now, is Palantir today. It's Tesla that's the problem.
That was the fastest reverse I've ever
I'm
seen.
still in this actually.
I was just getting out in front of 52. And then like a split second later, I'm not making it up, I was long in front of 45.
Same.
Like I was out and then back long. That's wild.
That was wild.
That's insane.
I haven't seen anything like that. Like
I haven't seen anything
that was almost
like that.
straight down $5 or $6.
I've never seen a gap of like $4 or $5 like that at the open on a stock. Let me let that one settle down for Beyond Meat tank too.
Things are starting to pull back a little bit here.
Yeah, Beyond Meat just tanked back into the 3. So here, this could come back into that $3 level. I'm looking to play reversions on Beyond Meat, and that's pretty much it. So as it gets into the pre-market, I'm just going to look for a bounce play. So a few things have lost the bid a little bit right here off the open. That was a very quick break trade. Adara?
you guys know here is we get a lot of volatility this morning that we do have some more economic data that's scheduled to come out today. So S&P Services Manufacturing and Composite PMI is scheduled for 9:45. 10 a.m. University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment. We are set to have these still as far as I'm aware. So if and when we get these, we'll certainly keep you guys posted. Back to you.
10%. Yeah, man, we're just talking about how wild some of these markets were right here, including what I'm in right now. So I would just been getting out of this, right? So we were able to buy a little bit on the low side there and take some out. But again, we don't put on too many shares when it's an early break. But, you know, it worked out for us on Palantir and not so much there on TSLA. So a couple outs here on VWAP, and it looks like it wants to be weak again here today. So I don't know, man. Tesla right now, big fail off of that level. I'm going to just try to start to absorb some of this a little bit here, get some more out of Palantir because I need to make some money back that we've lost here on Tesla. So not a great trade there early on TSLA, that's for sure. And I missed a 250 break, so I went over there and got filled on the way down there right now. Look at AMD though, man. I mean, trade the strong names, that's for sure. Oh, wow, AMD 247. Tesla is still tanking
240 here. What?
247 right now. AMD is like off 248. Did I say 247? Do I say 248? Do I say 250 pretty soon for AMD? Is that what also is happening here on NVIDIA? Yeah, NVIDIA with a nice move up to 185 as well. But it's the Tesla story today, as this one just keeps on making lows here.
Yeah, Tesla, absolutely. That's a shocker.
What is going on?
With that move up in AMD, it does mean that SMCI is going to come into play. This is the only non-small cap I was thinking even remotely for the short side today because of what happened yesterday in SMCI. So the first level is pretty much here at the 50. It's like 49.5 into $50 level. So as it gets up, I'll look for a bit of a reversion. Oh, here, shoot. And at the same time, here comes that WGRX stock. I knew this was going to happen. WGRX is trying to break out this dollar level. So I only wanted to play longs if it can hold the buck. Close this candle up here, and I'll take a shot breaking out that $1 level here on WGRX. This one was on our watch list.
Why is Tesla so weak? I don't really understand why Tesla is so weak. I mean, I'm trying to fight this bottom.
It could just be the 450 fail break.
It could just be a 450 fail break, in which I think that it should start to go back up. I mean, okay, you failed, we get it, but I don't want to fail on my net today and just get absolutely, well, I've already gotten destroyed on this name, but let's just wait to see if it does have some get up a little bit back upside anyways. I'm at there he goes. I'm at 445. And now we'll see if it can get going. Now it's Palantir that's breaking lower, so I don't even, maybe the market's just not as great as I thought. I mean, the Nasdaq is starting to go back up to the upside right there. We'll take some out there again at 184. Yeah, man, just wild times, man. Wild thoughts right now. So we'll see if we can get back upside 446. That's what I'm waiting for right now on Tesla. So hopefully we get that move higher now. And there it goes right now for Palantir. We have PMI coming as well. So there's just a lot. Like I feel a little overwhelmed here just with these two positions and the way that they're trading. So yeah, we'll sit out here right now. We are missing out Ford and Intel as well. Let me just quickly see.
Intel's weak.
Is it? Okay.
Look, I'm eyeballing oddly two small caps right now. Like I'm eyeballing Beyond Meat and WGRX. WGRX is losing that dollar level again, and Beyond Meat is coming right into that $3 level. Yeah, Ford is strong for sure, but this was never a plan to trade Ford. And Intel is still trying to hold the volume weighted average price. 39.5 is my level. It never got anywhere close. If it doesn't get there, then I wait for this to regain VWAP. But what a crater job on a few of these names, especially this Beyond Meat. It's still trying to catch a bit of a bid. It's at $3. 280 was yesterday's low. So it's getting really close. I want to try to catch a sniper reversion on Beyond Meat. So while it's heading down here, I have to eyeball it pretty quickly to try to get a trend break. And it's a steep trend as we speak. It's crazy price action off the open. And your baby.
Great.
Palantir.
Yeah. But this is what's saving me right now.
I was going to say, like, hit that 185 level and looking incredibly strong. Where is this dollar break on WGRX?
This was the biggest trade of the day for me, and it was the #1 trade idea that we had, and it triggered right away. And I looked over, and Neil was in the money or whatever, that Tesla ripped up to 251 and change. So I was like, oh my God, I got to get this if it dips back down. So my 250 for some reason didn't fill the first time, but filled on the way back down in. Like that was just a monster move right off the open, and now it's like clubbing down to the downside. We were able to get something out there. We have obviously much less of a position right now, but it is this one that just is making them sing right now. It's PLTR, man. We really love that name. All right, IONQ. I mean, the portfolio is loving that name as well. I'm glad that we talked about this yesterday, man. We talked about holding IONQ overnight, and there it goes, man. Congratulations, awesome job for anybody that did that one, because there goes IONQ. Huge move, really, right up to the upside right now. And following with the rest of them, I'm going to assume, is QBTS, quantum names, really starting to fly there. Yeah, QBTS better, up 11%. Regetti as well, probably more upside today. Regetti and QBTS seem to be a little bit more than IONQ, but there it is, Regetti now 8.62%. And everybody's favorite, including Randy's not, is Ford. But look at Ford, man, up 7%. Hey, you asked me yesterday, Intel or Ford. I went with Ford, and right now, Ford beating it. And so did you. Yeah, you did Ford, as well. Baby. We both got Ford, and that's up 7%. Intel up 5%. Hey, I'll take both of those. I mean, these are great. I told you yesterday I'm still invested in Ford, so
well, you might have just jinxed Intel.
Intel? I'm okay with Intel, whatever Intel winds up doing.
The exact moment that Sean said, I'll take both, Intel just failed VWAP.
Oh, no.
Boo, boo, and more Intel. Boo for the one that is Intel. It just doesn't seem to want to hold. That small capper WGRX did just break that dollar level. Kind of a weird one because I got filled at 01s, but I didn't get an 02 fill, which doesn't even make any sense to me. What gateway
honestly,
was I on
Tesla,
there?
what are you even doing?
Yeah, so anyways, I'm sitting, bats is not filled. I tried to get this as it was breaking this 02 level as well. I'll see if it comes and picks me back up, but the high is 110. So I want to get a couple of legs out in front of 110 in case it fails the actual high of the day. And speaking of Intel, the chip names, NVIDIA, these are all-time highs.
They are?
Isn't it?
No, not for NVIDIA.
85.8? No, it's the weak high. Never mind.
Yeah.
It's the weak resistance that's breaking out on NVIDIA here. So this is filling in the gap and looking incredibly strong. For myself here, I just don't, like Beyond Meat, I want to, it's a falling knife on Beyond Meat, but this is now a bottoming tail candle at $3. So this is like the first time ever that my first two stocks could end up being like small cap stocks. But well, wait, I was in Tesla at the 50 break, which was actually pretty good. It gave you the quick $2 scalp, which is my style, but that reversed very quickly. So Beyond Meat, looking for it to close, if it can, above $3, then you get a bottoming tail, and I jump into the long and try to play it back at least to the midpoint. But if this keeps falling, cannot fight this forever here on Well, I'm not even fighting it. I'm just not even going to get in, I suppose, on Beyond Meat.
Okay, we're just going to, do we have to go over to Adara? Yes, okay, then let's go.
Keep an eye here on Alcoa AA. Now, this is a day 2 earnings play, but that's not why I'm bringing it up here. A group called Street Pro calling this one a long idea, saying it's a, quote, sneaky AI play that you may have missed. So AA, as you can see here, a little bit of volatile trading here in this 15-minute candle, but decent volume to start, being called a Street Pro long idea on its second day after earnings. Back to you.
All right.
All right. There's just too much happening, right? Like, so I'm trying to buy these dips in Tesla, and then it rips $1 and tanks $1, and then tanks another $1. So this is definitely low. Like, we just bought. Like, look at this. We're going to get stopped out at 442 break. So that's it. Like, I can't take this anymore. It's too much stress. I'm losing too much time looking at this. Like, we just bought it at 443.50 and just got out some at the top side there for 80 cents for $1, and now it looks like it's going to take us down all the way. So let's just get some more out here. There it is. So we knew that was eventually going to break. Let's just leave Tesla alone. That was a pretty big break there at 450. So we have to flush that idea completely down El Toilette right now, and I don't know where the bid is going to come into this name. I do want to get long, though, at some point. I like Tesla. I just, down 1.6% doesn't make too much sense to me, but this is the big trade of the day for me. Like, I have Tesla written on here. There's no doubt about that, but there it is, Palantir, man, 184, breakout alert at 184. So that's what we have right now. It's 185.50. We'll wind up losing actually more on Tesla than we'll make on Palantir, so that's why I'm not feeling that trade that well. But okay, here comes Tesla again. The only thing I'm thinking about doing is if we maybe break 444 or something like that, then we can see about going back to the upside again. But for right now, Tesla is like dead to me for now. And then maybe
persona non grata.
Ford is at 13.
Ford is an absolute beast.
That's the move. Apple
Where's Randy trash talking about Ford now?
Yeah, Randy.
Where's
He's right here.
Ford's up like over 13 right now. It's flying.
Yeah, Randy, why don't you recommend that before?
Yeah, Randy.
Here we go, 6% up to 250 goes AMD right now. So this name, this was also on our radar, and we talked about how hot this name has been, and I just didn't take that break, and we should have, man. That pre-market break of 244 is so cash right there. I think now you got to wait for pullbacks. The market's just pretty heated, that's for sure. But despite me losing there on Tesla, we're fine with it, but that sucked. What about Apple right now? Just to get another quick look, Apple down. So here we go. Here's another name that's going Oppo right now. So
Oppo Taco?
Yeah, Oppo Taco right now for Tesla. Hopefully there's not too much Oppo Tacos tonight unless it's a Blue Jay.
Unless it's by us. Yeah. Actually, no, Oppo Tacos, it's a sports apparel brand that a guy that I played baseball with actually started here in Canada. Oh, come on, Intel. The first time I try to take it over the volume weighted average price, it does another topping tail wick. This one sucks. Like, Intel doesn't want to hold VWAP. I only gave it about 15 pennies because I'm not going to give it all the way down. Like the range that Intel has is about a full $1 here at the open. So I'm not going to hold it that full $1, but I do want every single shot I can take above the volume weighted average price if it's not going to be 39.5. Just to go back over that WGRX, the small capper, it came back in, eventually filled that 02 order. I was trying to bid in front of VWAP, and it never got to the volume weighted average price here. So I'm just sort of playing this one at the $1 range. But if it can't break 110, I'm going to start looking at VWAP. Over VWAP good, under VWAP bad is where I'm keeping it simple with this bad boy. And then we're going to go to... we're going to go over to the quantum names here in a couple of seconds. Also, I'm going to get that stock visualizer up for everybody.
Oh, good.
So we can see what names you guys are talking about. But Regetti is trying to hold that 42 level for me. I said I wanted to have this one settle down and play over under 42. And I like this, for that kind of a play, I like to sit out the first little bit and see which direction it really chooses at that price. It was just about to hold a bit, and then obviously it's now falling underneath. So I'll have to hold off on going long in Regetti. Is the market still looking strong? Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and very more importantly, after you hit the subscribe, if you're looking at a symbol, if you're curious about a symbol, if you just want us to be talking about a symbol, then type $ and then said symbol, and it'll show up here like this. OpenDoor, maybe the Open Army is taking.
Ooh, you think so?
I don't know. It's the top of the list.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, good job there. Yeah, hit Open Army, the BBI Brigade as well. Some fun names there. That's how you know they're like cult, like when you have these different names for them. So there goes Tesla again. We reloaded it, right? So we're not trying to leave this idea, but we reloaded against the bottom there. So we're now going to take some out as we've made a little bit back here on that. So we're so far so good and somewhat happy with that trade now. But yeah, we were not happy with it earlier, that's for sure, with our performance there on Tesla. But we're going to go over to Adair right now. Numbers.
Yeah, they're coming out right now, guys. S&P Services PMI, Manufacturing, and Composite PMI. I'm just waiting for them to populate. We did get cooler than expected CPI across the board. So Manufacturing PMI, 52.2 versus estimates of 52. Composite, 54.8 versus estimates here of 54. So it looks like we're a little bit warmer than expected across the board. 52 versus consensus there, 52 for Manufacturing. Global Services, 55.2 versus 53.5 expected. And then also higher than expected global composite PMI. So again, all of these numbers slightly higher than expected here for the S&P global composite manufacturing and services PMI market. Pushed a little bit higher here, but now pulling back a bit. Back to you.
All right, nice.
Dude, that OpenDoor is actually doing some things.
Is it? Yeah, what a stop.
Oh, yeah. OpenDoor up now at $8. We'll do a little work for you. I did finally get in that reversion, I should say. And beyond meat. But there is that move on OpenDoor. It's gone right to prior support at $8. So it's a straight shot into the most obvious level that stands out on the daily chart there. So Open maybe taking over a little bit, or I shouldn't say taking over, taking the reins back from Beyond Meat, because like OpenDoor was first, right? Like you gotta give credit where credit is due. Exactly. It's the originator of this recent run, but Beyond Meat kind of stalled out its drop around $3. It's holding a higher low now. I just jumped in at 4s. I should have 3 even, but I started in at 4, and I want to get a better fill if I can. I'm going to have to hold this one through the volume weighted average price, I think, because I think the resistance is going to be closer to like 320 or so. But once it gets up to 10, start taking it out as it gets up to that 320 level. And Regetti is, I mean, if you're looking at the quantum names, they're still looking pretty good, up 6%. I just wanted to hold on to this 42 in VWAP price before I try to take the long. Right? It's failed 43. Let's see it put in a nice higher low, and then we can work at some better levels to continue this upward trend here in Regetti. And remember, ear to the ground. Like if I hear anything that says, oh, more confirmation that there's not going to be any deals or investments from the U.S. government, then that's an easy one to jump out of. And as always, Adara is going to be able to have it, any news promptly. We have it in our ears as well. But this is exactly the sector that you could see it just out of nowhere fly like 5%, 10% on any kind of a headline. So I'll always trade this with stops, but this one particularly I'm wary of on any headline.
I'm just trying to learn, like, and this is what Obi and I talk about this all the time. If you're going to sit here and take shots on things, it's always good to figure out like which stocks you should, layer into and load up and get going with, right? I mean, Palantir, I think, is a perfect example because it breaks the level that we had wanted. It's our #1 trade idea. And then the reload came right back to VWAP. And that was a great reload opportunity right there because we already knew the long was, first of all, we liked the long and it worked. Right? Opposite of what happened on Tesla. We liked the long and it didn't work. So any reloading down here, first of all, we didn't have a chance to do anything at VWAP. I mean, the way this market just came right in was pretty intense there, right off the jump, right? We basically fell $10 in about 4 minutes. So that was a big mover for sure as people got, I don't think anyone, people got stopped out, obviously. Neil and I both got stopped out. But, that was just like a major, like someone said, I like it, someone said, I don't. And then it was just like, boom. And the buyers haven't stepped back in. I'm trying to be patient waiting for those buyers. If they don't show up, then I'm out at this low. And we've been cleaning out already. We're out about half of this trade just before. I mean, I thought I was going to get to VWAP, so I'm waiting for a little bit more.
So I got to show you what's the craziest thing about Tesla. Because something happened on Tesla that I've never seen happen.
It's going to break lower here.
I had a 450 break. I tell you this, I always put my stop on a Friday breakout trade at break even. I got filled above 450. Yeah. Like that's what the book was doing in that moment was insanity. It's like it printed, it for sure printed underneath 450, but then it printed above by like 50 cents. And then the bid was gone by like $4. Because I got out, I was like, okay, where am I going to bid again? Oh, I'm going to bid in front of the pre-market low. In the time that I thought that sentence and hit enter, I was long. That's just, and then it was immediately out when it lost the bid. So that stock was insanity off the open.
So I never seen it like that in a long time.
Again, like I said, I haven't seen that in a while, but that's again, like my style is sometimes I'll do that and it goes to 460. I look like an idiot, and then sometimes it'll happen and it works out. We're going to go to Darren in a quick little second. Beyond Meat, please hold VWAP. I said this time I wasn't looking for VWAP for the exit given the nature of that reversion, kind of playing it back into this 20 level instead where there was some prior resistance. Let's go up to the desk and talk to Adara.
Yeah, I want to talk here about NKTR and Eli Lilly, but mostly NKTR. That's going to be Nektar Therapeutics. Not a ton of volume on this. We only had 135,000 shares in this candle alone on the 15-minute chart, but takeover note potential being mentioned here by a user on X. Not familiar with this user, so let that be known, but this is circulating a little bit on social media here. Basically, someone saying that their research believes them to suggest that recent corporate, legal, and strategic signals suggest that Eli Lilly, LLY, could be preparing an acquisition of NKTR. So Nektar Therapeutics, as you can see here, bit of volume again, though not very much volume on the day. Just be aware, though, of this name. Back to you. And also thank our friends at Beta Pro by Global X Canada, because we have some exciting news out of Canada for the sophisticated traders on the stream. Beta Pro by Global X Canada, which is Canada's largest provider of leveraged inverse and inverse leverage ETFs. They've just launched 6 new triple leveraged ETFs, offering 3x bull and 3x bear exposure to the S&P TS 660, semiconductors, and on U.S. Treasuries. But even better, they're offering a special fee rebate, dropping management fees to just 65 basis points until December 31st, 2025. Plus, the U.S.-focused strategies use currency hedging, offering the potential for pure performance and exposure. So if you are a tactical, sophisticated trader looking to amplify your performance, check out betapro.ca/3xdaily to learn more. Back to you.
All right,
thank you there, Dara. Eli Lilly actually made another acquisition today. A company called, You know what? I never know the name of them.
There goes Tesla.
ADVM is and it's a really funky deal and might be movable because it's like most of it's like a CVR. It's like 356 cash and then a contingent value right of like 891, which I've really never seen before. Usually it's like a $10 deal and the CVR will be like $1, like the meet certain targets or whatever meets an endpoint, and then you get the profits from it, and it's just a little bit of an add-on if they so you don't undervalue the stock. So Eli Lilly is busy today. We'll have a look at that one a little bit later. But that WGRX in Cincinnati,
nothing is stopping Google.
It keeps bouncing off VWAP, and I keep missing the bid. And that's the annoying thing about penny stocks. It'll get down there, and like if you miss by 1/10 of a cent on your order and you don't swipe the book, you're just not going to get filled. So it's so much better to trade above $1 here because then you just get the even dollar that you bid at. But I'm trying to add at VWAP, and I have not been able to do so yet. But it has yet to break out the high, which is 113. I've taken fills, like I said, at 10 and now it's just actually at 11 as well. So I am now. Oh, okay, it just did that. I was about to say I only have a third left, but now I don't. Now I have a quarter left because I just got filled at 14. So now that it's broken the high, I'm still thinking VWAP, and I only have a quarter. I should get down to, I'll just take one more fill out because that's usually the plan of action, and then I'll hold on to the rest for the drain. All right, so I'm holding on to like a sixth of it. And we'll still buy the dip at VWAP, see how far this can go. The thing about this stock is it's got obvious kind of bag hole area here at about 150. See that consolidation? So no matter what happens, I'd be flat if it got there. And I'll probably put an offer at the quarter as well. So I'm just sort of thinking for the rest of this, like 125 and 150. Offer out in front and then wait for the volume weighted average price.
So I did. Okay, so Turner was like, looks like maybe asked me if I was revenge trading. I am a little bit here, but I'm not using a lot of shares. I want to, like, I still think the Dow's at all-time highs, the Nasdaq's at all-time highs, S&P's trying to get there. I cannot believe this move down in Tesla, but I don't have to believe it. I'm just experiencing it. So right now I'm using like basically quarter unit. Right now, we just were able to take, like we're making a little bit of money back. We haven't done that bad since the very beginning of this trade. So it's not, this is not the end of the world for me here by any stretch of the imagination. We're just trying to see if we can pick something up ahead of 440 and then wait to see if it bounces. But there's no, the bounces we've done well and taken some out. Like, you know, we just, like right here, like we just got long, see, like we just got long right there near the bottom, and now we're 50 cents in the money. So now we're $1 in the money. So 50 cents, like it's adding up. Every time we take it and get out. It's just my problem is I'm waiting for a bigger move to come back in, and the bigger move is down, it's not up. So I don't, that's really the problem right now, is I just shorted all these pops instead of going long on the drops. It would be a completely different experience. But like we were just, as I was just talking there, we just got long at 440.50, and now it's at 441.60. So yeah, look, making $1 on the back end of less shares isn't as exciting, but it's still a little bit of money, and we're just trying to like stack up a little bit right now. There we go, we'll get another out at 50 here as it continues to climb. So we're making some back, that is for sure. And we do have a good runner, obviously, and we just got out at 186 there. So we just took $2. Palantir has been really the one that saved me here from a complete disaster, but it is thanks to Tesla that we have this problem to begin with. All right, so Google, so if that breaks 440, we're gone. I'm gonna leave it now and see if it can get going, right? I have a 442.50. After that, we'll see if it can fly, and hopefully we can attend that in a couple minutes. Google is the one, man. We wrote down Quantum. Google was an idea that we had on here. We had AMD, Google, Tesla, and Palantir. The only one that went awry was Tesla, and of course, that's the big one. But Google, new all-time highs today. With quantum talk, you have good Google news, right? I mean, Google's the OG over here. This is one of the only quantum names, if you include it. It is a quantum name, not a pure play, that's actually making some money.
IBM.
So. Yeah, but just not pure, like Regetti and QBTS,
gotcha.
like they're just like, okay, we're quantum and that's it.
Interesting note, the type of quantum technology that Google uses is what Regetti uses as well. They're all a little bit different.
That's
like look, I don't know the nuts and bolts behind it, but I just know like IONQ, Regetti, QBTS all use different methods, and Regetti is the same as
I don't know anything about quantum methods. I don't even know what that.
No, I couldn't.
Yeah, like I couldn't
tell you. I couldn't explain to you what they are. But what I can tell you is when I read the article, I'm like, oh, I'd noticed that Regetti is the same one. But whether that bodes well for Regetti, I actually have no idea. It's just
we just got 442.50, $2 on on Tesla, but it doesn't really It doesn't really matter. It's we're still there. It is. We got it out at 2. We got 2 outs actually there at 442.50 because it was the 21 period there. So now we'll see if we can climb back up to VWAP. Let's put an offer at 444. What's up, Adara?
Yeah, I need to talk here about the market. We're getting some comments coming in from White House senior advisor Kevin Hassett. He's a senior economic advisor there, leader of the National Economic Council, saying that the shutdown could drop GDP or gross domestic product by 0.1% each week. He's also saying that apparently things are not going well here with regards to negotiations with Canada. He says that Trump is extremely frustrated with the country, which was evidenced by his social media post last night and this morning. And then he also said that there's one more thing here, that there's no evidence tariffs are causing inflation. So Kevin Hassett making quite a few comments. A lot of these a little bit cautious here during an interview this morning on Fox News. Apparently those comments just concluded. And in 3 minutes, we will get the closely watched University of Michigan consumer sentiment print. I'll be delivering that for you guys. Back to you.
Thank you very much.
Hopefully Tesla can hold out.
You know what's interesting that we're not talking about? When was the last time outside of just now that we mentioned the shutdown? It just hasn't been a big deal.
Yeah, no one's even talking about it anymore. I don't know if what's it affecting? I mean, I know obviously we talk about livelihood and everything, it's different, but for the market?
For the market, was it actually affecting?
Ford is 1350. Shout out to Scott Hall in the chat there. What's up, Razor? Ramon.
All right, here, just very quickly, Beyond Meat's about to lose a prior low.
10%.
Almost. Well, okay, maybe I jinx. I jinx breakouts all the time when I say something is about to break, and then I stare at it and it doesn't, because I said, well, I'm going to get some out above the volume-weighted average price. I did not get all of my fills, so I still have, okay, well, I still have a third of it from this long, and then we reloaded in front of that bottom, but there it goes. There's the break. So Beyond Meat's going to be the first L for me. Well, actually, no, I had an L in Intel, but that was a while ago. My goodness, this age, thank God. For myself,
oh, wow.
If I like the volume-weighted average price, I'm like, Intel, I'll give you every chance to hold the volume-weighted average price. The second it doesn't on this bar, like it breaks this high and breaks there, I'm just out, and thank goodness I didn't fight this one. Intel is now only up 3%, so sometimes the best trade you make is the one that you don't on Intel. They just want to sell it off. So it's filling in that gap. Let's see about that 39 or a trend break. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. It's a weird one. I cannot remember the last time where, like, the stock that I was, like, the most times active in was a penny stock. But how many times have I mentioned this $1 level, and I'll look back at, like, 11 o'clock, I'm like, damn it, that stock was at $1, and we didn't trade it at the open. This time, thanks to you guys and to Redera and the watch list, we noticed this one happened to be at $1 at the open. So we took a shot at WGRX in Cincinnati. I just like the way that sounds. So everybody, make sure to hit that like and subscribe. Keep the symbols coming. Let us know what's moving that we might not be watching.
Yes.
And we'll all listen to Adair. We got some economic data and maybe some news.
Ooh, hopefully.
It's happening now.
We have to talk about this University of Michigan consumer sentiment print. 54.5 is the forecast. We'll also get the 5-year and 1-year inflation expectations. 3.7% for the 5-year. 4.6% for the 1-year. Let's see what this number ends up being. 53.6, so lower than expected UMich consumer sentiment. Again, 53.6 was the number forecast here, 53.5. Now, for the 5-year inflation, they are expecting a little bit higher here, 3.9%, sorry, 3.9% versus the forecast of 3.7%. 1-year inflation here, 4.6% in line with the forecast. So again, lower than expected consumer sentiment, higher than expected 5-year inflation expectation. So the 1-year in line with estimates. Market not doing much of anything here. Trying to push a little bit higher as we digest these numbers. Now let's talk about some of the news that we had on watch today, including INTC Intel. Day 1 earnings double beat, but really tepid guidance here. Inline EPS and the midpoint of its sales guide actually missed estimates. Then GOOGL, which is just continuing to shoot to the upside after announcing a deal with Anthropic. This was reported previously on Tuesday by Bloomberg, but now it's been confirmed. Stifel raising their price target on Alphabet by $70 to $292. Tons to look at today, guys, so make sure you stay with us. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Join us every single weekday at 8:30 a.m. as we send you back to Sean and Neil.
I like PayPal. I had a bid lower on PayPal.
Probably in the mid-60s, right? In here.
Yeah, probably. I have to look.
Come to my daily chart for a second. Hey, where's our position board? PayPal is in the midst of breakout. I said if it closed twice above the 50 period that I was going to buy this for a swing, and I guess I'm buying it at lunchtime. But the breakout is real on PayPal. Whoops. off the $70 level. You can see it holding VWAP. I mean, it's looking strong. The market's looking strong. Just look at these cues. We got a light print on inflation, which, I mean, across the board, it was both core and core month over month and year over year, right? So that was the big deal. And you're just holding on to an upward trend. We haven't broken out the top just yet. So I'd be a little bit, like, skittish isn't the word. Like, I'm not punching anything long as the cues are getting to the highs. I'm looking for that next available dip buy. WGRX is now just a hold for a trend at this point because it just retested the prior high and held on to it. And so it's now got a somewhat, it's a somewhat clean trend line. It's not the cleanest trend line in the world, but it's somewhat clean. And I got my fill at the quarter. So if it gets to the half, it gets to the half. I haven't found a reload spot. It's a volume weighted average price. So there's the trend line. If it drops underneath, then I just get out of this and move on to the next opportunity. So this one seemingly like it's going to be one small capper which wants to continue going. Unfortunately,
this is so stupid on Tesla.
Sorry?
No, I say Tesla's so
no,
stupid.
I was going to say, unfortunately, like, I know AMD is now 7% up. It's not unfortunate. I mean, I'm glad that AMD's up here past the 250 level. I'm selling some AMD today in my personal account.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know, and don't get me wrong, I understand the whole, but look at how strong it is. Why would you trim your AMD? Because I think it's getting frothy, and I felt like I should have trimmed some more in front of 240, and now you're going to give me an extra amount here. And I've held AMD shares for years. I just feel like this one's getting a little bit much, in my opinion, especially relative to NVIDIA. I just don't like the juxtaposition here. A little frothy. I like the news. It's looking fantastic, but come on.
All right.
250.
I keep on scalping in and out of Tesla, and you might have heard me just say that with Neil there. I was like, this Tesla is just so stupid. Because, you know, like I'm taking 30-cent hits or 40-cent hits, but like when it's ripping, we're getting out, and it's not going through 442. So we've been trying this a couple times, in and out, in and out. It's just like scalping purely off of 440. I'm gonna give it a little bit lower, like 339.75, but that's it. Like last chance right here. Thought that this could want to go. We're gonna try to hold. I've said we're gonna try to hold this, but every time it comes up here, it literally is stopping at this 21 period, which is now 441.50, and I'm staring in the face like when it goes up there like $1, sometimes even more than that, you know, and I'm just like, what am I supposed to do here? I don't really believe in the long, but I also know that there's so much room to go back. See, like right now, like what do I do? Just scalp this all out for 80 cents? Like they're winning trades. Maybe I'll do that till there. I'll offer 88s and get out. Okay, so we're just scalping this out for more profits down here, but it's been frustrating to say the least here on TSLA. Let's see if we get one more bump and then maybe we can finally get going and the bid will hold, but there's a big seller here on Tesla. I think we'll find out later. Someone was in here selling every single bump up today, and I don't know if it's Kathy, I don't know who is in there selling Tesla today, but yeah, see, it can't get, like we were just in the money $1.
It always says she's buying, not selling.
Probably, I would say. I mean, you never hear her selling anything really. But yeah, there it goes again, right back to the downside. So I don't know, put my hands up in the air there, and at this point, wave them like we just don't care because Tesla has been a fun one, needless to say today. Lots of back and forth in that one, already traded 1,000 shares, so it's a little bit of a problem here for Tesla. It's Palantir Day, and it's still working out for us. And then it's NVIDIA, some of these other names. We'll talk about more, and I'm going to go over the market here because the Nasdaq's up 1%, and the ES is also now up 1%. We haven't looked too much at some of the banks today, including JP Morgan, back up to 3 bills. I mean, this is a great move, 1.5% for a bank. We like those kind of moves, don't we? All right, there goes Tesla. It just broke lower, so go ahead.
You want crazy good? Eli Lilly's up. There was the deal that I mentioned to you guys that Eli Lilly made, and then Adara brought another. I didn't catch the company, the other acquisition. It's not confirmed. So they have a confirmed purchase they're making, and then they have another one which is unconfirmed, and they're going up on acquisitions, not down. Usually big cap companies go in the other direction, but Eli Lilly, I love 1%. To see that. If something that usually takes a stock down has it going up 1%, yeah, buddy. Yeah. Eli Lilly is on the collision course with $850 about. Hopefully it gets, I hope it gets there today. I'm more talking about the long term with regards to that one. ALII, thank you in the chat. I meant the other one. ADVM, I know. That's the one. This is the one that Eli Lilly's buying for $356 cash plus the CVR. And oddly enough, Like, I might trade this, but I already tried to pick bottoms on this stock, and then every single time someone jumped at 440, I got spooked and then flatted the trade. And I'm actually sitting here at the low of the day just to try to scalp the range, because it's showing me like a 430 to 450 at the bottom here. So I'm going to think about playing just that instead of trying to get involved up there. So anyways, I might pop into that one from time to time, but I love that on Eli Lilly, the fact that it's breaking higher. And yes, Ian Gunther, Google is gone. That is Gunther, right? Yeah, sorry, Ian Gatner. Google is absolutely gone. Strong move here for sure with that Anthropic deal. Let's go to Adara.
The other company for Lilly was NKTR, though again not confirmed, just saw some speculation circulating on social media. Let's talk here about the market, which is actually breaking higher here. I'm seeing some other comments from Kevin Hassett, and one of these is pretty interesting. When asked if the U.S. is going to get their China trade deal by November 1st, Hassett said, quote unquote, we'll see. So it doesn't seem like there's a ton of optimism there. He did say, though, that U.S. President Trump and Chinese leader Xi are, quote unquote, great friends. Back to you.
I like having great friends.
All right, here comes Tesla on a 3-minute is about to break the trend for the first time here today. So forget about the breakout. I don't care about that. I'm talking about from the volume weighted average price. When things settle down, you'll get a trend line break, and then I'm jumping back into the long trade on Tesla. Just close it. This one I'm going to be strict about it. Like, this has to close above the trend line, not just be above the trend line. But I think it's going to do so in literally less than 1 minute. I might nibble in here, because what are the odds that it could drop $1.50 in the next 40 seconds, but
yeah, easily.
But it easily could, but I'm going to still try to nibble in.
Yeah, we're getting some out right here, but the same kind of a thing. We're long from time, so, and we almost got stopped out. I mean, we told you we were using that bottom 439.50. It almost stopped me out. Like, it came within 10 cents of getting stopped out, and that's just how wild these names are. So there we go into Tesla. We'll wait to see what winds up happening. Man, I'm still in it, so hopefully we can get some nice comebacks here back there to the upside as we start to empty out our clip a little bit. Look, it was only this first trade that was horrendous for me. So let's go back over here and have a quick little look at what the general market's all about today. These are just a broader look at all the names. I know we have been really focusing on some certain ones, but there's Caterpillar, great name, continues to go higher there for Caterpillar. 525.75, looking to break through that high right there of 550. We'll see if that can happen. That would be more than an all-time high. GE Vernova, great little name there that had earnings on Monday or Tuesday and got smoked, and then all the way back up, and now probably higher than it was at that day now as well. So this is just some producer names there today that have been hot. We already talked a little bit about Eli Lilly. Not too much happening in these names. J&J right now down 0.78. The tech names are going. We can have a look here. Palantir, the big trade for me, Palantir today. We've gone over that. Obviously, I'm still in it. It's fading back in. I have 5% left of Palantir. Microsoft, that's maybe the next breakout. We've had a few people talk about that, and I think we've liked that. Netflix on day 3, maybe now earnings, or maybe day 4. Was Netflix Monday or Tuesday? It was Monday night, was it?
Tuesday night.
Tuesday night, okay, so day 3. So we'll wait to see if maybe Netflix is potentially a buy at some point there. IBM, what a buy that was on their bad number, up another 3% today. AppLovin up 5. Yeah, CrowdStrike, new all-time highs yesterday. That's up 2.5% today as well. Oracle's trying to find the bottom right now, up 1.5%. So yeah, there's some nice movements for sure happening. Let me check out energy, and then I'll throw it back and we'll figure out what's going on right there. There's energy right here, XOM. So relatively flat as we wait to see about those sanctions. Russian oil, both sanctioned from China and the United States. And then, you know, what's been a good little, there should be something on here called earnings, you know, where you can look to see which names have reported and where they are today, because not on here, I didn't see Intel.
Deckers.
Yeah, Deckers is probably a problem. There goes, first of all, we're now $2 in the money here. We have a little small position. We have a quarter of a unit, but that's what we've been playing with, you know, so it's been okay. Downside. There's Intel, man. We didn't have this written on our list, and I was going to say, and this is why I didn't think yesterday's report was that's something that I was that interested in, because I said, like, no matter what happens with Intel, we know that it's been propped up with government money and some of the recent deals and some of the nice talk there. They do still put up a good number. It's up 1.7%, right? The guide was not great. I wonder if this is a profit-taking situation right now for many people on Intel. But here we go, man. Good trade there, getting that Tesla on the bottom. We're trying to get, okay, so I do have an out. Did I just... I'm supposed to have an out around here, but I don't have an offer. So I'm going to put an offer right now. Get this out. There it is. So finally, $3 now to the upside, licking a little bit of wound here on Tesla. I like your entry better because you don't have any risk there. But here we go. Well, there's always risk. There goes Tesla. We took too much risk maybe on the downside.
VWAP, though.
But I can look at my net, and we've made money since this move. But yeah, we should have let Tesla settle down, man. 10 o'clock. You know, I'm learning lessons every day. I mean, we swing big, we lose big. It's part of my MO. But at least we're here trying, right? We're out here swinging. You know, we're not doing anything else other than that. And then Palantir is a good one too. So we'll go 1 for 2, but be down on the day because that was a big one. People are saying Clover. Like, I had this. I dumped this name at $3 and something. Okay, so I'm still okay where we dumped it. But Clover, and I had Clover from a long time ago. I got it out I got it out in here somewhere. That's why I was saying 3 and change, as this has been a pretty key level. Yeah, see if you look back. So I was long from a very, very long time ago. We got out somewhere, I was going to say, in here. So I think we're doing okay on our out. But yeah, Clover up nicely today. I don't know if there's news, Dara, on CLOV. Oh, there goes Tesla. So,
I just took Tesla.
Did you make money on that last trade? Because I was just...
No, it's close to...
It's a wild trade.
Close to flat.
Close to flat.
I got greedy. Like, I saw it shoot 43s, and I was pretty convinced it was going to go right through the volume-weighted average price. So, you know, I just gave it to my entry bar when it got to that point to keep it a tight stop. If it can't break VWAP, I don't want to fight this stock. We got a good super chat in there. There's something about... Clover made me think about something with regards to... SPACs, because SPACs are back in play, and I saw the open of a few SPACs recently, and I think there's a trade that we're missing out on some of the SPACs, not just IPOs, but also SPACs when they open up. But we'll get to that a little bit later and answer the super chat.
I just want to mention here via Clover, so I could not find any news here in CLOV. Apparently there was an upgrade mentioned yesterday. I couldn't see much on that either, but lots of social media attention. We're talking multiple posts a minute.
A minute, okay.
Can we put that Lumen headline back up?
Sure.
Because remember, these guys, Palantir partnership, there we go. Currently holding, and thank you very much, Nathan, for the super chat. You're holding 692 long in Lumen. Would you continue to hold? Yes. What would you... Well, this one, we liked it yesterday for the catalyst, and then the breakout trade that was already happening, like that break right in there. And I thought continuation made a lot of sense. What would your sell plan be? Up 40% in the last month, Q3 earnings, October 30th, trying to learn. Now, personally, I would never, and this is just my style, like I don't swing a lot of things, but if I swing a small cap company, I'm not trying to hold through earnings. I'm not. Unless I really know something, or I'm just really confident for whatever reason, like there's a stock that I know and I love, like a SoFi or something back in the day, but not necessarily this one. Like to me, I'd have an offer in the 9 to 9.5 range. That WGRX just broke trend, so I just jumped out. I'd have an offer in this range, making sure that I'm taking profit if it gets there before earnings, and then I'd just certainly consider tightening my stop the day before earnings or even just getting out. But that's just my style of trade. Like if I take this breakout and it reports in a week, then I'm looking for it to make that press going into earnings, as opposed to just hoping that it's going to be a good report, because you know stocks like this can 10, 15% in either direction. I hope that helps, but that's just what I would do. WGRX.
Let's go.
There's it breaking that trend. So the best we get is the 25. That one long gave you he actually gave you to the 35 level. I was holding the last for the dream. I'll wait for it to get to VWAP. I still believe as long as it holds the volume weighted average price, this is going to be a decent long trade here in WGRX. So far, so good on that one. Been a solid morning.
Oh boy.
But these small cappers, sometimes they can be the jam. Like usually I'm not really trading one of these off the open.
We are really starting to cook. So what's up to Drew right there? Let's go. Let's spin it 1, 2, 3 times. Now $3 in the money there on Tesla. So again, you know, I was waiting for a little bit of a lower take there. So now it's starting to rip high side right now for us on Tesla. I'm going to put my next out at 4444444. See if that hits. So we'll wait to go to the upside right now as we've just taken out VWAP. So we said we would do this, man. There, we thought we were breaking a little lower, so we got a piece out. Then we take 2 outs at the 50-period moving average. We get extension through VWAP. We actually got that. That just blasted so fast that I didn't even have an order at VWAP, so I put it out immediately. We got 443.80s, so that's a good little take there, as we're still holding on to like 70%, well, a little bit less than that, actually. About 50%. You know what? I'm not going to talk about percentages because I have no idea. I was putting on so many different trades down into here. Like, you know, let's just say it's like 30 shares, 30 shares, 50 shares, like just averaging into this trade and getting stopped out too, right? Like we bought it, got stopped out, bought it, got stopped out. What's IONQ doing? As Quantum's back, baby. Yesterday we had a little bit of a rant from Adam there saying, you know, these guys all lied about this and that. Whether or not they lied or not, I don't know. But, you know, at the end of the day, today they're back to the upside. Is this an all clear? No. I think this is an opportunity to fade the pop. So I would actually, you know, if you're all panicky the last couple of days when IONQ is down in the 50s, well, now you're in the mid 60s. I think this is your chance to get out if you're nervous about your position, if maybe you have too many shares or whatever, because over the weekend, anything can happen and we can come down to a minus 7% or up 7% again. And that's why we play this market and we wait to see what's going on. IBIT has been really, basically, I talked about this, man. IBIT, I don't know. Like I was saying, you have to be disappointed, and I don't, you know, there's going to be a lot of traders out here that are happy with Bitcoin. I don't see how you can be, really. I mean, all the markets are breaking highs right now, and all we've really had to do, and you have to wait. It's a waiting game, right? I'm nervous that what happens when people actually start selling their Bitcoin, then what's going to wind up happening? Because right now there's so many wallets that are just sitting there holding, waiting for moves to come back up. It's just like, I just wonder where the pain point is. Is it going to be 100,000 for a lot of traders? Maybe that's what we need to test before we make another move back there to the upside. But if I call up here QQQ, right, and we look at that, this is what that looks like. If I call up the SPY, this is what this looks like. If I call up GLD, I mean, we can go on, right? I mean, most of these names are near or at highs while we have Bitcoin. And I know they're completely different beasts, and people are going to be like, well, what was Bitcoin doing the last little while? You know, it's only up like 1,000%. And so it is. But I'm talking about where are we going now? And it's not where we've come from. Look, man, I mean, I own Bitcoin at $1,000. I own Ethereum at less than $1,000, a couple $100 probably. We owned everything lower. But you trade out of it, you hold it, you got to decide what's forward, right? And right now the 200 period moving average is just like, that's a magnet. So I'm just a little nervous if we break that and then eventually take down 105. When that happens, do we flush through 100? And then if we do, maybe the next area, Neil, is like around 80, which would be bad.
I like the 93.
Yeah, I just think it would be bad because the market's just rocking.
But if I look at what Bitcoin has been doing, I'm not concerned until the pattern breaks.
Yeah.
Like, look at how long you consolidate these levels on the daily. Like, you should be prepared for this to go 3 or 4 months in one of these channels, which is more or less what's happening. It's a little bit longer this time, but fine, it's at the highs. But until we lose like the second level down, like if we lose this 91.5 area, like this, and it's kind of like it's not a perfect line, but it's, you know, kind of like that high, I can zoom further out and maybe make this look a little bit better for everybody. Really, just because there's a big break. This is where it initially stalled. That turned into support, and then the dip was into the prior high. So then you've got another 2 levels. We hold the higher low, make a new top. So there hasn't been a 2-level pullback yet on Bitcoin. And to me, that's the place to buy, the 2-level dip. If it takes that out, then people, I think, get a little bit more concerned because it would be breaking a little bit of this upward structure that we have. So you got to be able to zoom out on these things. All right, I got to jump over to what I think is going to be the next trade. Because, like I said, I ended up looking at a couple of small caps. It was Tesla very early on that breakout trade, and thankfully was able to get out on the way back through, and then went over to, obviously, both Beyond Meat and that WGRX stock. But Regetti just lost the trend and is coming into VWAP. So there's the trend break. Usually, if I was short, I'd get out of a short in front of VWAP. So if I'm bullish, I'm going to look for a bounce off of the volume weighted average price here on RGTI as we go back to the desk with Adara.
Let's start here with American Bitcoin, ABTC, and also not a small cap, but Hut 8 could be one to watch here as well. Eric Trump teasing, just wait. So we know ABTC and A2T are certainly names that are potentially in watch here. Now, that comment they posted, the just wait, was in response to someone else posting, keep an eye on what Hut 8 and ABTC are building. Now, in case you guys were wondering, ABTC and Hut 8 do have a relationship there. There's been some investments in ABTC from Hut 8. I can get you more details afterwards if you're interested. But yeah, they are tied up. So there is a connection as well there. Let's take a look here at American Battery, ABAT. Shares of battery-related companies were trading lower here on Wednesday amidst some reports that there would maybe be this DOE canceling more than $700 million in battery loans. That was back on Wednesday. No news from today, but just to contextualize this a bit for American Battery, this one does have a sub $1 billion market cap, I believe somewhere around $750 million and roughly 7% short float. Then we have, last but not least, the man of the hour in the small cap sense here, WGRX Logistics Health. On Wednesday mornings, this is a day 3 play, I guess, for them. Wednesday morning, we had Datavault AI and Logistics announcing that they're planning this pharmacy chain, which is going to be basically implementing blockchain-enabled smart contracts for the prescription drug industry. Now, before we send you back to Sean and Neil, we'll take a moment to thank our good friends at Trade the Pool. For too long, trading meant risking your own money. You're never having enough to start. The fear of losing. That's what kept so many traders on the sidelines, but that is changing. Trade the Pool is transforming how traders access the markets with its limited risk trading model. Traders use funded capital while Trade the Pool absorbs the downside. This allows traders to focus on what truly matters: discipline, consistency, and growth. Because when you hit the profit target, you keep 70% of the profits. No fear, no barriers, just real opportunity. This is the revolution of limited risk trading powered by Trade the Pool. So visit tradethepool.com or scan the QR code now to get 10% off your first evaluation. Back to you.
Yeah, that was great. Thanks, Adara. Yeah, I mean, prop trading is what we're doing here as well. So we want to thank Mitch for showing up last week, or was it 2 weeks ago maybe now at this point? Yeah, so thanks, Mitch, and for all of his contributions as well. You can go check out Trade the Pool. But we're trading with real trading. I'm going to do something right now. Let's go find out who made all the money yesterday. It's 10:20. We will get back to trading. But let's just show you what prop trading, what we have here at Real Trading. These are real numbers. These aren't simulated numbers or anything. So let's go find out who made what yesterday. I have not looked, so we're going to zoom down here. And here it is. These are the top 10 traders from yesterday, although it says today. All right. And these are all the markets. Ooh, look at this. So we here at Real Trading, so we are getting out of some Tesla. Tesla's falling back in right now as the market's pulling back just a little bit. Hong Kong, 8 grand. And so it looks like it was pretty similar. Wow, these guys are all pretty similar too. 7,775, 9,000 New York and Nasdaq. Somebody in Canada there, clean 10. That was really nice. Make sure you pay your taxes. Nasdaq, and then Nasdaq, New York, and the CME. So no European names there today. We do have different markets available here. So someone on Blue Ocean, this is just one individual trader. These are like the top traders per market, basically. TSX, 2 grand, Amex, CSE, New York, Blue Ocean, Hong Kong, and CME. Look, we have the Australian market as well, 1,400, and then Turkey, pink sheets, and so on and so forth. So just a little bit of a look there. Okay, so Tesla. So again, in fighting with the trend, I do want to go long here if we break above 62.80. So I did just put an IBIT trade in to go through the 50-period moving average, if that works. Okay, man, there it is. So bouncing basically clean off VWAP. So good, like not good because we're long, but good because we emptied out a lot of our position. This is going to allow me to reload slightly. I'm going to try to take a reload at 440 flat. So if it comes down to 440, then we're going to use 339.50 as our out. Like, you know, to risk 60 or 70 cents at this point when we've made back a little bit on this stock, I'm more than happy to do that and give it a go one more time. But I definitely not loading up, man. This is not a trade that I'm like, hey, we got to go ham on if it comes back into 440. No, but that is a good level. So if you're here with me, maybe worth the shot. Up to you. This is not financial advice. You can clearly see how I'm trading. And now we're $1.20 back in the money. Let's put another offer right at like 442.50, and we'll get out of another piece if it does ramble up to those levels, as I'm rambling on. And then 185.50. We are almost out, man. I have like 3% left of this Palantir trade. It was a banger right off the open. We got panicky a little bit as it was fading back out, and we got some out there for 60, 70 cents. But good outs there on the upside for almost $2 for PLTR. It's trying to go again. What's up, Adara?
I don't know if you guys know here about Papa John's. PZZA, not a ton of volume on this today, but it is getting a big push higher. Apparently, the Bank of America is moving to no rating on Papa John's, saying it's no longer trading on fundamentals. Unclear if that's why this is moving higher, but either way, as we know, this one has gotten a lot of attention in recent weeks amid some reports and rumors suggesting that they could be a buyout or acquisition target there, including from Apollo. So PZZA pushing higher here, guys. On watch. Back to you.
Yeah, like Apollo's interested.
There was no official.
Yeah, they don't want to. It doesn't seem like they want to sell. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like the history of when you don't do a deal, the shareholders sometimes get the rinse. Yahoo is the worst example of that. Oh, come on, close over VWAP, Regetti.
You trade some SMCI here.
I was just, I tried to short SMCI. I just can't, I literally just canceled my orders to try the bounce on Regetti here, but Regetti hasn't closed. I broke a rule, and that's why I get out right away, because it didn't close above VWAP. I'm like, is it bouncing above VWAP? I hope so, but did it close above the volume weighted average price on that bounce? It did not, so why am I trying to go long before it closes? So first candle, hold, second candle needs to close above, otherwise what am I even doing? SMCI I liked for the short, it never got to 50, obviously. I mean, I had 50 to 50 and a half, so it didn't even come really close. But I tried grabbing this when it broke through 49, but I'm not gonna chase this move. Like, so far it's been so good this morning, I'm not gonna find myself chasing a punch down on SMCI. This was the one stock that I wanted to short today. We got another super chat here. We'll make sure we answer that. Neil speaking on SPAC plays. CCCX is a quantum linked and a SPAC. Can you take a look at the chart today in 1 month? So what I was going to talk about was just simply a way that I want to look at trading SPACs.
This is a way different one.
On how they open. Like, I almost don't even care about like when they make a combination. I'm just talking about that first day when they come out at 10 bucks. Like, that's something that I want to start looking at and playing off of that, because I've seen some interesting price action that I think can be taken advantage of. I'm not really thinking about the whole, okay, they made a combination and all this stuff after. I'm generally talking about that actual like first moves and playing off the $10 range as a day trader. But yeah, you know what I like about, I mean, come on, you probably know what I'm going to say. Trend break, great. Way too wild in terms of spread and light volume, but trend up, trend down. You were already in a trend break yesterday, so I would suppose you'd be in more of a hold zone in a stock like this. I don't know anything about them, so I can't really speak to whether I'd want to hold it. But I was more getting at something that I was seeing when these come to market at 10 and what they do off the $10 level specifically that I think we can take advantage of. That's all. Not really care about it. Like there was a Chamos back recently. It opened and held 10, and I would have just been long. I'm like, oh, you can actually get away with doing that. So it's more of a gimmick play that I care about for IPOs. Like, I'm not trying to like set the world on fire. I just want a nice simple trade that I can take in the first 10, 15 minutes off of anything coming to market.
This, I see you in the chat there. What's up, everybody in the chat? AMD is wild. Yeah, what's up, Steve D'Agostino, looking at Newegg, of course. Yeah, I remember when this name was just a little baby, and now it's hatched, and it's just, wow. Newegg, just.
What?
I don't know, Dara, Neg right here. Nice move.
That's just today.
A nice move, Newegg, nice move. I think this was on our watch list. Nice move there, yeah. Trying to break through right now. See what I'm saying about this was a baby stock? Like, what in the heck? What is the great call out by whoever, Agostino there in the chat. NEGG right now, Newegg. Let's go have a quick little look at this one. What a monster. Only 1.75 shares, 7% short float, 20 million share float, not making any money. That's interesting, as many of these stocks are not making any money, but you're still trying to get up to the upside here with Neg, and there it goes. So good little look there. This could be another one of those shorts coming through. Wow. Yeah. Must be. I just heard Adair say nothing on it, so I don't. I don't know if there is something on it. Then tickle me pink. Palantir right there. We just got another piece out at 85. I don't know. It's just dancing. So now we only have 2% left. Every time I'm just piecing that out little by little. We'll see if it can go upside right there. People talking about AMD going hard. Yeah, remember where there was that discussion about what price is going to ever match each other? AMD v NVIDIA. Well, now AMD is now $50 higher, $60 higher than NVIDIA. Obviously, this is not a market cap discussion. This is just a pure price discussion. And look, whenever you get, this is the thing. Oh, first of all, Tesla just cracked. We tried 440, it went down to, see?
The stock is broken
and it stops you out. There it is, and it just stopped you out again. So I'm completely, honestly, I'll hit the fail on it because the long didn't hit, but we made back on that. Like, that was good. We'll still be down on this stock, but that was a good opportunity there for us, and we took advantage of it. So that was good. Now the market's really starting to pull back in, though. So it's a good thing we're out on that last shot there for Tesla. But those are some good outs. But yeah, now the market's really starting to pull back in. Looks like that was a good job on Palantir. Like, now the market's really going. Is there news or something that's maybe just hit? Palantir just got cracked down into 1 184 again. Okay, nothing. So maybe we'll reload this Palantir, but I don't know. We don't, like I said, we're not even worried about it. We don't have many shares. Let's try it then. Let's try to get something here. I just bid 23. It just ran away a little bit. Let's punch a little bit higher. We'll take some 30s there. Now we'll wait to see. We're still bidding 23, so I'm right there right now. Missed me again. What a surprise. Okay, there it goes. We'll just play off that bottom there.
Might have been a lit grab at VWAP on the Nasdaq.
Okay, could have been.
This is what I'm looking at. Because I was just in Regetti at 42, and then so there's your, zoom in so you can see this better. There's your liquidity grab right into the volume weighted average price on the NQ. At that moment, I was playing off that 42 level. They liquidity grabbed me as well. If we still close above 42 and the Nasdaq holds, great. But I just got that first short of the day as we're about to go to Adara.
You're just shorted.
And it's just off of it's SMCI. It's not VWAP, unfortunately, but it is off the pre-market low. So it pops back into the pre-market low, which is about the only other level to work off of. So relatively tight stop, but finally short SMCI. If this was yesterday, like I don't know. I guess I should have trusted the short more. Like SMCI, it was the only stock I like short. And it just sat here with a brick wall at $49.30 for an hour. And I was waiting for it to go back to the high to short because the market was strong. And it just, somebody else was smarter and shorted 49.3. Let's go to Adara.
Yeah, I want to let you guys know I don't have any news that I'm seeing right now. I'm aware the market's dropping. I checked Trump's Truth Social. His last post from 3 hours ago was ironically the stock market is stronger than ever before because of tariffs. He has not posted since that post 3 hours ago. There's nothing in the news, guys. I don't have any Fed speakers right now. I do apologize. There's really nothing for this drop. Back to you.
Give him the benefit of the doubt.
Oh yeah, SMCI has always been a problem for a minute, but yeah, the whole market now, like Neil just mentioned, they're bouncing quite nicely off of VWAP, so that was a good trade for anybody that was there, sitting there long. We were sitting there, or we're sitting there not long. We're sitting there waiting for something to happen, and right now we are waiting for Palantir to get back to the upside. So we did buy that dip there at 184. We didn't get the best price. You saw me take the price, so now we wait to see if it can come back up to the upside. See, had a chance to go there and stopped. I'm really right up here. Oh, that's 70s. I was at 80s. Let's go to well, here comes back in anyways. Let's go to 184.70 to take out a little bit if it comes up there. Then I'm at 90s, which is sort of where I thought VWAP was, but it's now back in. So we're going to see if we can get something out around here, noticing that the high was just 55. Therefore, PLTR. Oklo was a name that I'm seeing some people looking at. 134, good recovery day for some of these names as well. But that had a nice high. Now, like, look at the movement on this, man. That's down $4 right there. We're getting something similar. Nice. Go Palantir. Hopefully that can get back up. Something similar for SMR. Yeah, so SMR takes 40 again, now back to 38. We were saying the other day that was a great price level for new scale right into here, man. $32, $33. And remember, I was like, gosh, should I pull the trigger? We did sell at 57. So I'm now thinking of getting some more back in because I want to be something long in there, but I don't want to put that much money down to play. But there goes SMR, nice play to the upside. And boy, oh boy, did Bitcoin take it on the face as well. I mean, I was sort of talking about how this was not, trading that well in the pre-market when we were at 11.3. It didn't have the same kind of bounce action that we got on the Nasdaq off of the CPI number. It did, but then it was just fading and then fading and then fading into the open while the Nasdaq, continued to climb. Bitcoin continued to do this. So this does not surprise me. I canceled my long at 62.80 break. Maybe we should put it back in. It's trying to climb now. So that's something that I'm thinking about. We are now 30 cents in the money, and I put an offer at 69. Let me put an offer right here at 58. See if we can get that now to the upside and take. Again, the reload was at 23 cents. You saw me take that, so there it is. We're taking that little bit of an out there as we making some money back on the upside now as this market tries to rally, but still stopping. Intel, that's a good little
Intel's finally broken trend. So I tried it off VWAP and to the upside, see if it could fill in this gap to the aftermarket highs you can see there, but look at how long it held the downtrend. So I kind of ignore that top and the first place it bounced, and you can see all the wick tops. There's your close above trend line. It's about 38.8. Threw that one into the chat. It's weird to have SMCI short and Intel long in some regards, but I don't think so. This gets to the volume weighted average price. If it rejected that before, that is an obvious out. I'm not thinking this is a hold through the volume weighted average price, especially seeing like the other thing trending down, like what Tesla did at VWAP as well. It's like if it's trending down and you get the reversion into VWAP, take it. and just be happy with it. That market is holding up pretty well. If you're looking at the strength that's in AMD, sorry, like NVIDIA pulled all the way back to its breakout price and is now getting going again. And we've seen this story before where, like early on, AMD has all the strength in the world and NVIDIA is not really all that crazy. And then at some point they switch it up. So AMD's at a bit of a double top. So I'm going to kind of look at NVIDIA right now. AMD's at a double top. If I see this pull back or just start going like sideways, sometimes we've seen that story where it's just NVIDIA plays a little bit of catch up. It's right at that 185 zone and the volume weighted average price as well. And WGRX, while I was looking for it to get back to VWAP, it was deciding it was going to go back to the high of the day. So I don't really have an entry plan up here because this is never a stock that I wanted to chase. Might just have to wait for the next available dip. I trailed out at probably the worst spot anyways. Hold on to that last 15% and ended up getting 15s, and now it's at 35. So if you held it, congratulations to you. I absolutely did not, and obviously wish that I did.
Yeah, that was all these trades today feel like they have some sort of FOMO to them one way or the other. Let's check out Mara, the Bitcoin miner. Again.
Ford, as Randy yells out.
Ford, coffee? Oh, no, Ford.
He just says Ford.
Oh, he said Ford does not make coffee, no. But our machine, maybe they should. Ford right now, Ford well outproducing every other car company today, I would think. Let's just check in on GM really quick.
I haven't looked at anything
69, else. Yeah, I don't know either. 69, yeah, up, so again, 69 bucks, up 3% goes GM. Ford goes boom today, man. What a good report from Ford. Ford up 10% right now, so, you know, again, we talked about this yesterday. We both picked Ford as the #1 earnings play that we were thinking about last night, and there it goes. You know, so nice little move up there, upside for Ford. Remember, let's have
last time I thought. I can't remember the last time I thought, man, I should have bought Ford.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since anybody said that, isn't it?
Yeah, most likely, Neil. Yes, I would say I agree with you on that one. But let's just have a quick look. GM does that gap there on their earnings report and does not give any back. So maybe Ford is, you know, just poised for another breakout into that 1450. And oh yeah, the Kool-Aid man. There it is, man. Palantir now 70 cents in the sorry, my bad. 60 cents in the money. I'm waiting for 89s to get filled, so we are almost there. And then we'll take out, there it is. We take out a decent position now at 89 because I was waiting for 185. We triggered this in, right? When this fell back in, we talked about, I said to Adara, Neil, like, was there news? It looked like maybe there was. This fell back into our posted price of 184. Unfortunately, we weren't sitting there. We waited. It's not unfortunate, we did this on purpose. We were waiting for it to give us a bounce because my stop is right here. So now we have a stop, which is why I'm starting to clean out because it's getting a little aggressive now to the upside based on that stop. I'm gonna offer a little bit more here. Here, that's me on ARCA, that's me at 78, it's me at 78. There we go, we got it. So it finally breaks through some 78s there, we get it there. So a little bit of an out again for us. And yeah, let's go back over to Adara.
Here's that sector board, and as you can see, there are really 4 sectors, I would say, that are extraordinarily strong today: electronic technology, finance, producer manufacturing, and technology services. But even within tech services, for example, it's really a few names leading this push to the upside. AppLovin up 5.5%, IBM on day 2 earnings, up almost 4%. Google up 3%, announcing that at deal with Anthropic. Then we have electronic technology, which I would say is a lot stronger across the board, with the exception of Honeywell and TXN, both of which reported earlier this week. AMD up 7% notably here, with an IBM tie up there for quantum. IBM, as we mentioned, already trading higher. Finance and producer manufacturing both strong across the board here. A lot of the other sectors kind of mixed, not too much to write home about. Consumer durables, though, I really want to point out the dichotomy of this sector because we have Tesla down 2%. Meanwhile, GM on day 3 earnings and Ford on day 1 earnings, actually to the upside. Tesla, for its part, is on day 2 earnings. So consumer durables really, I guess, choppy there and mixed. But other than that, a lot of these sectors are going to be relatively flat or not too much exciting to say. Before we send you back to the guys, we're going to take a moment to thank our friends at Woman Boss, because empowered women change the world. And you can help make it happen. The Woman Boss trains and mentors women and girls across Africa to lead, innovate, and thrive. Since 2018, we have reached over 10,000 women and girls. And your donation today can launch the next great entrepreneur. So scan that QR code on your screen now and join us in creating a brighter future. Back to you.
Thank you there, Dara. And as you can see, work being done behind us on the desk, on the big wall.
Definitely.
Of which, nobody knows what that is, of course. Nobody's figured it out. We didn't show anybody what it was either.
No.
Russell and Randy can both wave. I think
we didn't show anybody that was a big, huge video wall.
No, not at any point. Not literally showing the program on it to the left yesterday. No, you actually could have seen some of the panels working yesterday for like a little bit. They were testing it out.
Yeah, it was cool.
It's going to be amazing.
That's cool.
Absolutely amazing. IBM is pretty cool. IBM said,
cool.
Yeah, well, it was a beat top and bottom. It was good earnings. We're not going to do the thing we did last time, which was drop for multiple days, actually for a couple of weeks, and then bounce. Nah, we're just going to bounce right away. And almost through the $300 level. I'm mad at myself for not, I don't know. I'm mad at myself because I wanted to buy the earnings dip. Like last time, it was you just had to wait for it. You waited 2 weeks before it made a bottom on IBM. And this time I kind of thought, well, I'll at least give it a few days. Now you give it a few days and you're buying the top. So I'm not going to be reloading on the IBM, unfortunately, because I'm not going to buy highs. Intel just stalled out a little bit here at 39.10. So we grabbed this trend break at 80s. I've moved when it broke the even dollar, I moved my stop to the break-even candle there, and I'm still thinking this can be a VWAP play, but I do want to reload this somewhere, but I'm not convinced at where I want to reload it yet. So kind of backing off of that. I had that SMCI in the other direction, where it's just holding that pre-market low, but I haven't scalped any out here in front of this 48.5, which I should be doing. Let me just move it up a little bit. Try to scalp some out, because I'm playing this range instead of playing the volume weighted average price. So trend down on SMCI, as a lot of the other chip names in the market are actually going to the upside, like AMD and Intel, and NVIDIA are pretty strong. We don't look at, a lot of times we don't look at the entirety of the chip space, and then someone called us out. They're like, you guys never look at Micron. You guys always ignore Micron's up 5%. So it's not and Micron's a rocket ship.
AMD
Micron just put in a new fresh high. So it's not only NVIDIA and AMD. There's other names that are putting on this power move that the futures are putting on, and Micron is one of them, and it's been looking fantastic for a while. So we acknowledge it. It just doesn't get traded very often. That's all.
I don't really like it when Randy's actually working around here, because then we don't get coffees, But right now it's 10:45, so I'm going to pass on one right now. And we got the gym in about 15 minutes, so we're going to get over there, do a little bit of that. And you see, actually, when he's not working, he's just relaxing like this.
So who dropped that? If you're there and Russell's there, then who?
Probably Russell. It looks like he's passing.
Oh, Rob's behind the.
Oh, Rob's the one screwing up, according to Randy. Okay.
I didn't even see Rob behind the back there.
No one ever does. No one ever does, apparently. I see Rob all the time.
I know. You can't see him in the shot. That's why. He's behind Sean's chair.
No. That's what I'm saying. Randy is the supervising.
Well, I mean, obvious.
The supervisor.
Randy's always supervisor.
But there's a 17, Rob told me this, 17 foot. I saw Randy lifting this the other day, a whole bunch of guys. 17-foot table coming through here for the production team in the back. So there's a lot of work being done. Yeah, big. Yeah, big. Good wingspan. Yeah, it's a big one. There, 17 feet. Yeah, for the production.
That seems
that's going to be in the back. So that's what they're working behind us. Here's the big. So this is just a big, huge TV wall. That's my DJ booth that Randy's on right there. So we'll be mixing in the middle of the day. That's what we're doing right there. We're getting practice tonight. You can join me for my DJing set at Ford Performance Center tonight. For the hockey game. We'll be DJing there. And that should be a lot of fun. So we're doing that. Yep, Randy is the man in the background making all this noise. But yeah, AMD another 8%. And I was just like sitting here 5 minutes ago and being like, are we going to take this day high break? Yeah, it just went up $1.50 or $1.30 from that break right there. Pretty clean, too. It's not even like you had to worry about it. It was only one little pullback candle. Maybe now we're finally starting to pull back. But look at AMD's daily chart, gathering, breaking. And I think I remember saying this yesterday, which is why it's on the note today to go long. But, that break, right there, 240, 250s. That's what we wrote down, but it was a pre-market level, right? And so I thought maybe if we got a move back in, I just canceled my bid at 242 for AMD, and it's exactly what we wrote down on the sticky note today, was that kind of a look. Are we battling back? We have a nice battle back in Palantir off that recent dump, but it was Tesla, which is my sort of crutch today. And yeah, it's trying, but yeah, not enough for me to do anything with, man. Maybe this break, 444, might get us excited in there as well. Yeah, that's Tesla right now for the upside play, potentially. I think it's probably a short, though, at VWAP, so I'm not going to look long. Maybe we look short. The market's trying to give it up just a little bit here as well. If Palantir goes against us, it's going to be the other way. We're going to get out at that little low. We'll average it back at 184, but the market's not...
The market's not, it's slowing down.
Off the highs
and
again.
It's Friday, so like getting continuation through the top seems a little bit less likely. Ooh, now you can see the Carter jersey. Whoops, I turned the wrong way. And now I'm moving the wrong way. There. Where is that camera? Oh, you snuck that one on us? Okay, Fabian, that is really...
Oh, Fabian, wow, that was... I was getting the Joe Carter.
Joe Carter, baby.
We won't get any Carter magic tonight because we need to have like a game winning.
Well, that was, yeah, Carter walked it off. Like,
yeah, we need to have this. We need to have the Springer.
One of 2 walk-off home runs in the history of the World Series. The other one...
I hope there's another one.
I hope
because it'll be at home, right? We're game 7 is here.
For us, but Bill Mazeroski for the Pittsburgh Pirates. I don't remember what year. He also shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
That's a hot take.
Maybe one day he'll get there.
No, he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. He is in the Hall of Fame. He really shouldn't be.
I mean, Chauncey Billups is in the Hall of Fame. Let's see what happens with him now. The NBA.
See, here's the thing. Like, obviously, had this happened before, he wouldn't get in.
That's what I was wondering.
After the person's in, can you kick them out?
Marissa actually asked me that today.
That's what I'm curious about, because
I didn't realize Billups was in.
But gambling is considered to be the worst possible infraction you can make in professional sports.
Yes, that's probably true.
Right, to have that kind of an allegation. That's what in baseball has been proven. So do they kick Billups out? I kind of feel like you don't, because there's a lot of people in MLB that now we know some stuff about older dudes in MLB, like they should be kicked out. But anyways, we'll see what happens. That stuff is wild, because you know it's not just them involved. This is for sure bigger.
It's just that Teddy Rozier guy made $160 million in his NBA career. It's kind of like Chauncey Billups probably made more than that. So it's like sometimes you just get caught up in it.
Well, once you're caught up, like it's more it's probably the whole you can't say no. Once the mob's got you, they got you.
The mob. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm waiting for this to all unravel at some point.
It's going to be nasty when it eventually does. All right, so Palantir, we're going to take, I am bidding 108, 184 flat, so if that comes in, great. Apple may be on the shot to the upside. Come on, man. It's like I'm sitting here on Palantir, and there's Google running, there's Apple running, there's all these other names that are running that we just don't have. Google also was right on our radar today. Okay, so maybe if this pulls back to VWAP 259, we only have 10 minutes before Sharif's out of here. So it's Obi and Joe on the midday show. So get ready for that in just 10 minutes. Joby will be on for you, and we could take a look at stock Joby. You know, actually, let's look at some other ones. OpenDoor, that's been one that I know there's a lot of traders holding. Wow, $8 for OpenDoor. OpenDoor up 15%, and there it goes, man. That is starting to make a move. $7.90, $8 now for OpenDoor. Good day today. BBAI started off really strong. Let's see where it is. Yeah, 720, so still strong. That's up 6% as well. D-Nut the other day, we went long $4 and got out. That was a good trade on that day.
D's.
Yeah, D's Nut. That's a nice little move to the downside there today, down 4%, so not great. Beyond Meat was up 20% or so. Oh boy. So there's the break. So now it's a short. You know, we said this, you could go long at $3. We said that there. It does pop up a little bit. Yeah, it bounced, but not really.
Not enough.
Yeah, and then WAP to the downside there for a downside play there on Beyond Meat. 267 million shares, much lighter than we've been seeing over the last couple of days. But what goes up sometimes must come down. We got some price target decreases. Yes.
Before we go to Adara, you want dirty? Sure. I'm so mad at myself for not just shorting the pop on that YYAI. It went exactly to 10 million, sorry. It went exactly to 10 cents, saw like a gigantic order at 10, and then just flushed. This stock, I said yesterday that this one was a just short the pops play. and then just hold it. Hold it. Like the first up move it makes, short whatever the resistance is and then hold it. And I did not short that stock. Let's go over to Adair. It's already 1050. We need to see how the US dollar is doing.
Oh, yeah.
We also need to figure out what is for lunch later.
Oh, yeah, what's for lunch? Yeah.
The US dollar is super choppy. I want to talk about the USD in 2 seconds. I just want to mention as well, ALK, Alaska Airlines, they reported earnings last night, and they're just saying now they canceled more than 360 Alaska and Horizon flights from Thursday through Friday morning due to an IT outage. Now, they said apparently additional disruptions are likely, but it's not related to cybersecurity. So just be aware of that if you are trading, for whatever reason, ALK today, because again, earnings day one. Let's talk here about the US dollar, which, as I mentioned, pretty stagnant and really struggling with the resistance level of 99.2 for the last 3 days. Now, the economic data we got was a bit mixed. CPI, obviously, better than expected across the board. The core and non-core month-over-month and year-over-year prints all 0.1% lower than estimates across the board. So cooler than CPI, so cooler than expected CPI across the board, always going to be a good look. Market received it really well. As I mentioned here, dollar pretty choppy. Now at 9:45 a.m., we got some pretty mixed PMI data, and then the more closely watched University of Michigan consumer sentiment print came through at 10 a.m. Lower than expected consumer sentiment, but then we had higher than expected 5-year inflation estimates and inline 1-year inflation estimates. So again, really mixed data here, with the exception of that better than expected CPI print. 96.7% of participants still is expecting a 25 basis point rate cut. 3.3% of participants expecting no cut. Now, I do want to mention one thing as well. The White House is out here saying that it's likely, quote unquote, that we're not going to get any economic data released next month. So it does, A, that implies that they think the shutdown is going to continue, the government shutdown, and B, that could be a bit of a problem for the Fed, especially with that December meeting, guys. Back to you.
But
that's the good thing about baseball is even if you're getting blown out, you still have that magical 9th inning.
I was just telling Deshaun, like, I'm taking my daughter, we're taking the families to the game tomorrow. And like, if it's a blowout, the game starts at 8. Like, you're not getting done until 11 o'clock. So we're staying the whole time. If we're getting blown out, she'll fall asleep in a World Series seat. Like, I can see that happening.
It might be too loud.
Okay, fine, but she won't be interested if the Jays are getting, because she actually gets upset if the Jays are getting destroyed. Like, she's not having fun.
But if it was like 4-2.
Oh, 4-2's fine.
Okay,
but if we're getting blown out, yeah, she, and rightfully so, that's probably my fault for making her a Jays fan, that she'll get in her feels about a blowout. But.
Well, any fan. I mean, there was that fan that the Jets, I don't know if you saw that video of the Jets kid. He's like, man, I love this team, but like, I'm like in this because of my family, and it's like I've been born into this nightmare. It's just funny, man. This is what sports do to you.
That's what I did to Aaron and the Jays. So thankfully, they're good right now.
Yeah, well, thankfully, my family supports the Green Bay Packers, so we don't have too much to worry about that. Okay, so, but we support the Maple Leafs, which is a big problem, of course. All right, so Palantir, it comes into 184. We take that long, it goes up to 184.33. We take a little bit out, and right now we're suffering the fate again of trying to hold this. A break of, I think it was 75s. What am I waiting for? Yeah, break of 75. That's what we always do. We always play off the quarters. So it looks like it's going to go down. There doesn't seem to be any love now for any of these longs. But instead of looking at Palantir, because it didn't really react on the way up the way the market did, the market right now is at VWAP. We could see if we can hold, there it goes. So I'm sure Palantir is going to stop out any minute now as the market tries to break lower. Yeah, is this a good time? Okay, I might take advantage of that little bump up there. Take something out at 97s if we can do that. Did we get it? No, we did not. Okay. If the market holds, I still don't really love this long right now. I mean, we've already made the top. We've now, okay, there it goes. Now is the break lower. I think we should think about now shorting the TQQs. But I don't want to necessarily jump into something. Maybe we wait for a strong pull. Well, there, did we just get that? We didn't even get 97 yet. Where's my 97
right now?
Did I not put a 97 on there on Palantir? Oh no, it's 184. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh no, I put 184.97. What am I even doing? Okay, but now it's a break higher now, upside. So we're happy with that little bit of a move there on Palantir. I put the wrong price. Wow, that's surprising for me to do that. All right, let's put in 09 and see if we get that now, and then we'll wait to see if there is some get up back. And look, Neil, it just bounces again off that VWAP, but it's not really bouncing. So. Well,
we'll see how the candle closes on this Nasdaq, because the last one was a very nice bottoming tail candle. This looks a little bit different. Like this is a 15-minute chart, everybody. I just realized I'm going to make that bigger. On all my other charts, I have the size way bigger, so you can see it. But it's an NQ on a 15-minute, and it looks like it, barring something good in the next 4 minutes or so, it's going to close underneath VWAP, which is a bit of a trend break. I jumped, like I said, I was only ever looking at one short, and it was SMCI, so I took the lower high short. I'm looking for 48 here. 48's where it closed, 47.92, like in and around here. So the next leg down, I'm looking for a play into the 48 level. I had to jump out of Intel. I didn't have to jump out of Intel, but it's like, this is a trend break, and it immediately failed the first even dollar. So I took a couple of legs out at that first even dollar for the 20 cents and then just said, fine, if I have to stop out on the last third for 10 cents, that's what it wants to give you. That's how weak Intel is. For now, it's got a double bottom. So maybe this is a double bottom and I can get back into the long again. But I want to see this market hold up. If the market doesn't hold VWAP, then I don't want to be fighting anything. So the long side, I'll just hold the one short, which is the only stock that I even like short today. That WGRX small capper is actually really holding on to this trend line. I'm starting to consider whether I should just be buying the trend line on WGRX. I took it out when it broke underneath like 115 here with a bad out, but it might just be a little tight long on this trend line until it gets to 150. So that's a small capper that I like, and I'll be continuing to watch. And the other one that we haven't touched, which is #1 on the board for our stock visualizer.
Ooh.
And has been the entire time. And obviously AMD and Tesla moving around. SoFi, we haven't looked at SoFi today, and that's the only name up here that we didn't look at all. Sorry for not looking at that. OpenDoor continuing to bounce cleanly off $8 and cleanly off the volume weighted average price. So if you're watching Open, there is a nice buyer at VWAP. I'd be careful if it does lose that bid. And as mentioned, we didn't look at SoFi. Love some SoFi, but remember what we talked about, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago. SoFi has been bouncing off the 50-period moving average, or 25, a couple of times, 25, mostly off the 50 on the daily. And when it gets to 29, it's not closing above 29. But has yet to, like all these breakouts above 29 have failed to hold. So today, you can cross your fingers, could be the day that it does. The day that it does, I'm taking the 30 break after that, or even maybe taking this long in the afternoon if it can hold on. But the market's not doing its part here. So this has been failing 29 every time. If it can finally hold on to this thing, I think you get the rally that we're looking for on SoFi. So just SMCI for myself, target 48. We'll look to see if we can reload in front of 48.75.
All right, so we're finally flipping it up. We're going to see if we can have a red market now as we'll go short. We're just layering into it now and see if we can take down VWAP up here at 110.20. That'll be my last sort of straw here as the market I thought was going to get continuation low there. I mean, there's that CPI print. We just touched that low right there. Coulda, woulda, whatever, gone long near that level. The long would have been so far better than this short, but we'll wait to see if that is true or not as the market comes right back upside now, and we'll try to go short a little bit more and then stop out if and when we wind up breaking through VWAP. 110.25 break there, and we'll get out. But that's it's a nice move to the upside right now, and was not expecting that. So unfortunately, I will have to absorb this hit a little bit here if it does continue to go upside. But we could just do something positive right now and figure out what's for lunch. All right, so we've avoided. I think we've avoided tilapia so far this week.
Don't say that.
I can't really jinx it because the guy's probably already here, and if he's
well, it is
already,
what it is. Like it's not. We're not changing lunch by saying it. Like they've already made it. I just really don't want to eat fish.
Yeah, same. I mean, I'm not really feeling any sort of a tilapia today.
I'm probably eating a burger before the game.
Burger?
Because
Okay.
I was telling Sean, like my
Hopefully
wife
it's
and I are
not burgers.
considering going to the same place that we ate,
I like that.
eating the same thing as we did for Game 7.
Right.
Just,
like that.
I mean, not that it matters, but it was also it was a pretty good burger.
I mean, athletes and that's a superstitious, right? I mean,
Wade Boggs used to eat like a bucket of fried chicken before every single game.
Oh yeah, okay. I think Michael Jordan probably smoked 10 cigars or something. But that's back in the day. Imagine now someone saying like, I eat a bucket of chicken before every game or something like that. I wonder.
They get roasted.
Wonder how that would go. They'd get roasted. I'm sure people do.
No, but
to each their own.
My track coach used to actually say, look, if you eat bad food, generally speaking, and that's just what you do and how you roll, you can't change that before like a big meet. It's like, well, if you eat at a weird time of breakfast, like I remember one time like a goat, our friend, he's like, oh, this is how you should eat in the mornings. I made like a final. I had never done like a 2-day where I ran rounds in one day and ran the final the next day. It was the first time I'd ever gotten to do that in indoor meet. So I'm like, what do I eat how much do I eat for breakfast? He's like, oh, you need to eat more than normal. So I loaded up on whatever, this and that. And then my coach is like, but do you normally do that? I'm like, no, I'm eating pretty light.
What are you doing?
And I ran like crap. And he's like, why would you do that? I'm like, well, because Paul told me to do that. Like, you're an idiot. It's like, even if what you do isn't optimal, you should just stick with whatever your plan is.
Yeah, routine. It's same as trading. It's like the minute you step outside and start doing something you're not comfortable with is when it goes bad.
Not gonna work.
All right, today though, we're pretty happy with this one. We've had some good luck with beef in the past, especially this week. And today is peppercorn beef stir fry. So you avoid the burger, but you got the beef. But the pieces of beef here, you know, it's okay. It's gonna be stir fry, seasoned veg, sweet potatoes, and a salad. That's what's for lunch. And it sounds like a juicy one, that is for sure. So peppercorn beef stir fry. I don't prefer peppercorns on the steak, but some people do. It's not,
it's not my favorite.
It's not the spice, but
it's not my favorite.
You know how they sometimes it's peppercorn crusted steak or things like that. For me, that's a little bit of a pass on that, but this will be okay. All right, so yeah, go Jays, go. It's going to be Obi and Joe right here on the midday.
Shoot, we got a super chat. Do we get this one?
We can try quickly.
From Joe Mama.
Oh, that guy.
Hey guys, I got a gift for y'all.
Perfect.
What? I'm outside the office. Who do I give it to? You're out right now? Well, okay. Well, I guess one of them.
Normally Brendan's here.
Yeah, usually Brendan would have gone. So
maybe Randy?
Yeah, I don't know. Randy's probably back there.
You can just knock on the door and someone will.
Yeah, knock on the door.
Oh man, that sucks, Joe Mama.
Yeah,
give us a little bit of a notice. You got to email marketing@tradertv.live.
We had no clue.
And that way we'd be able to figure
Hopefully it's
out.
not tilapia.
You stay there, I'm going to go to the gym. I'll come.
How much jokes would it be if someone actually just, actually, no, I shouldn't say that because then someone's going to bring tilapia.
If Joe Mama has a fresh tilapia here, and I'm going to take it, you know when IRC used to say this person got slapped with a trout?
Yes.
Or whatever?
That was the best part of IRC.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was it was just a chat, like for back office to trading floors. So you could discuss, like, if we're having an issue, this gateway went down. We used IRC back in the day. Let's go over to Obi and Joey options. Joey runway.